think Gino will heat up. They also need him to. And in a way that is more important than needing. Like, on days when you've got Garver, Solano, Moore, like, I get that it's tough to look at that lineup and go, are you kidding me? But, hey, if your starting pitching was better, maybe 3 runs is enough. Like, maybe 2 runs is enough. Certainly not all the time, but, like, I don't know. I always come back to pitching, and then after that, always come back to, like, okay, well, if your offense was really good, then that makes those days when you're rolling out a tough lineup on, like, a Sunday matchup or matinee a little easier.
Yeah, man. Can I say something? With all this being said, there's still, 1.5 back? There's still 1.5 back. So, yes, have all these gaps where we're filling the arms, where the starters aren't getting deep enough into the game. You have some questionable decisions when it comes to pulling out whoever in the bullpen. But there's still 1.5 back. Yeah. So you've kind of weathered the storm. Everyone else is in the storm with you. You guys are looking at each other. No one has an answer right now. I'm talking Astros, Boston, all the involved, right? And no one's really taking the lead. No one's taking the charge. So you're still in it. But if this play continues, then it's going to be tough. But that's why you got to come home and get the vibes right again, man. Yeah. Come home, settle down, and you should be okay.
Again, too many people. You guys, I watched these games. Someone said, didn't Gino? I've been saying that Gino has been improving. But the last 2 weeks, he's hitting 200. Again, I think he will heat up. I have every confidence in the world he will be fine. But if I am forced to choose between what matters more to me, I'm choosing Gino heating up. Like, that's more concerning to me because it matters more to me. Okay. Let's talk Dan Wilson in the final minute 30 here. I entered this conversation and frankly, yesterday was thinking like, oh, Dan Wilson's going to be number 1 or 2 on my list behind pitching. But after really combing through these 5 things that we're ranking, he does fall last. And it is because of what both of us have when it comes to holes in the lineup, a.k.a. lineup against lefties. You can only work with what you have. Do I think that this team would have 1, maybe 2 additional wins with a really experienced manager? Yeah, I do. Mm-hmm. I do. Mm-hmm. Do I think it's also okay for a new manager to struggle and to learn and to make mistakes? Yeah, I also think that's okay. Do I think it's important that the clubhouse likes him? I think that's very important. Sometimes he makes decisions that frustrate me. Yeah. And yesterday in a 1-run game, putting in Saucedo was one of those.
There's only a few ways the skip can affect the game. That's making the decisions on when to pull your guy. Sometimes it's obvious. You got Gilbert going 2 innings and giving up 6 or whatnot. Yeah, you got to pull the man. Things ain't right. And then it's with the help of the people upstairs setting the lineup. Dan don't just set the lineup by himself. Let me point that out, too, is that there is a team with data that says, in this matchup, you should go here. You ever see Dan when he goes to the dugout, he's picking up the phone? All right, he's not just talking to the bullpen, right? He's getting this information. His staff and everyone upstairs gives him this information, says this is where you should go. And I would assume as well that because he's a brand new skip, that the influence from upstairs is a lot greater than it would if you had a service out there who's been in the game for a while. Also, yeah, the biggest decisions Dan makes is when a pinch hit and when to pull those guys out the bullpen. And it seems like, or pinch run as well, and it seems like at times you question it, but at times it works out. But that's part of being a coach, man. You're vulnerable. You put yourself out there. Everyone is there to critique your decisions. So, yeah, I disagree with some of the things that Dan does, but also realize that the influence is greater than just Dan. Dan ain't sitting there running the show all by himself.
We both ended up saying pitching was our number 1 area of concern for the Mariners coming out of this road trip. Frankly, it probably had been for a while. I think that starting pitching has now surpassed the bullpen. It was the bullpen number 1 for me, but it's become starting pitching now for me. I will say this and end with this before we get to headline rewrites. Jeff Passan, the other day on with Brock and Salk, was asked about pitching being in a slump.
Perfectly normal. You don't like to see it, but there have been situations where teams have absolutely faltered toward the end of seasons and gone and won World Series. Look at the 2023 Rangers, for example. Like, they were not very good down the stretch, and they kind of limped over the last couple months into a postseason spot, and then they just figured it out. So I am not the kind of guy who thinks peaking early is a thing. Like, when I'm talking with people about the Brewers, they will ask, are they peaking early? And my response is no, they're playing good baseball. and that's never a bad thing. I just as I don't think that winning in September necessarily puts you into a position to be better off. I don't think losing dooms you to this awful October exit.
Now, I think that if you were eyeing like a number 1 seed in the American League for the Mariners, yeah, this road trip does impact you. If you're looking at the AL West race, Bump, you said it right before I played that cut. The good news is that Houston didn't didn't add a ton to that distance. They struggled against Detroit. They struggled against the Orioles as well.
With all that being said, you are still in the mix, and you're coming home. So, yeah, we're frustrated. There's some things that are concerning. It's like when I look at my kids and I go, man, if I don't fix that behavior, when that dude is 16, 17 years old, it's going to be a problem. So you're looking at behaviors and tendencies and trends and all that, and you're concerned. You're a concerned parent. You want to make sure you set your kids up for success. So we'll see how they adjust.
The Seahawks regular season is approaching, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to their home opener on September 7th against the 49ers. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, August 25th. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number 1, Dallas Cowboys head coach Brian Schottenheimer says he is confident that Micah Parsons will be on the field opening night against the Eagles. That's, 2 weeks from today? What's the real headline?
You know, I'm not confident, but I got to say, I think I am too pretty sure he'll be out there against the Eagles. It wasn't quite like a funny headline rewrite. I started thinking of a joke to make fun of the Cowboys for their confidence he'd be there, and then I realized that against my better judgment, I kind of agree with them. I don't know that Micah's going to hold out of play in the regular season.
You think he's going to let $23 million go? $23 million. He's getting someone do the math, over $1 million a game, close to 2 a game. He ain't going to sit down and let that happen. I don't think he is. With Micah Parsons on this defense, they were 20th overall in yards per game, 21st when it comes to opponents' first down, 29th in opponents' rushing yards per game, 18th when it comes to pass yards per game. That's with Micah Parsons on this defense. So without Micah Parsons on this defense, you don't know what it's going to look like. So I wouldn't let $20 million sit on the table like that. I will go out there and play, but we'll see who's going to call someone's bluff. What's going to happen there?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2. Emerson Hancock was used as a reliever last night for the first time in his career on Wednesday. He touched 97 on the radar gun. What's the real headline?
What's going on in Tacoma?
For real, though.
The Brian Wynn.
Why would they do that?
Why would they do that?
Because they need help. That's why. No, look, I don't know this young man. Last time we saw him, he was getting lit up a little bit. It's Emerson Hancock gave you enough to see the potential and say, okay, he could be a guy in this rotation, or at least hold it down until Miller comes around. But when you have an arm like that sitting in the minors, you got to try to figure something out because this bullpen needs help. This rotation needs help. I think you stick with the 5 guys that you have. Obviously, they've shown, I think yesterday was the first time this year all 5 guys were in the rotation at the same time. It's crazy. So you don't let a guy like that sit. If he can touch 98, come with a good little secondary pitch, why not experiment? Because you need something.
It is such a bummer that we were just talking about that. You're right. Like, oh my God, all 5 guys are actually healthy all together. How fortunate to be able to look at the situation in late August when you're trying to make a deep playoff run, and then they had maybe their worst pitching, like stretch of pitching that I can think of maybe this year. Certainly like consistently bad where you're losing pretty bad games.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Lamar Jackson's not practicing today after his foot was stepped on during Wednesday's Ravens practice. What's the real headline?
Someone's getting cut. Someone's getting cut.
If it was someone on defense, yeah. Offensive lineman getting dominated and pushed back, then you sit there and you scold your offensive lineman. But yes, Lamar, sit down, relax. No one's worried about what you can or can't do in this league. 41 touchdowns last year. I don't think he's going to repeat that. That'll be a difficult task. But look, he has to get healthy, get through the season, and get over Josh Allen and Pat Mahomes, man. That's going to be his nemesis. Until he can, people are always going to question, can he win the big one? But he's no Dak Prescott. At least he's been to the conference championship game a couple of times, won himself a couple of MVPs. Yep, Lamar, you go ahead, sit down, put your bucket hat on, and throw some shades on so you can get on Stacy's Divas list.
Someone texted in during this segment, I think just saying like, oh, yay, Bump's back, so excited. And then they said they're very excited for the debut of the Diva list. I'm not making that up. That was a real thing someone said. And I wondered, like, you know, our audience is predominantly men. And I thought, is this going to be something that doesn't resonate with people? But let me tell you what, I've had diva suggestions. Like, the diva list, we're going to be tracking it all year. And people aren't going to like what they see. You send in a text that annoys me, diva list. You wear sunglasses inside, diva list.
What did you make of that listener who put you on the diva list for
He's going
your
on the diva
spider?
list. Yeah.
Not even a spider, a fuzzball reaction.
First of all, what about that was diva? I was a victim. I was terrified for my life, and I continued doing the show. You know, still I rise.
It was a
like I
fuzzball.
continued to shine, and I continued to power through and persevere, and that was really important. I didn't know it was a fuzzball though.
So mentally, you were tough enough to think that it was a spider, yet still carry on.
I showed grit. I showed determination. I showed sacrifice. That's the opposite of being a diva. That texture's going on the diva list. Not debuting that, though, just yet. We'll debut it going into the regular season. Are we underrating the Seahawks? Speaking of the regular season, one popular analyst ranks his top defenses entering 2025, and even we were a bit surprised to see where Seattle landed. That's next.
This place is electric. When we get crowds like this, it's special.
There's something special happening in Soto.
It's amazing getting to, play in front of a sold-out crowd.
The roar coming from the corner of Edgar and Dave is different.
J.P. Crawford with a walk-off two-run home run.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners return home for a huge 6-game set with the first of 3 against the A's. First pitch at 7:10. The push to the playoffs lives on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
It's Jet City Harley's sign and ride event. No cash down needed. Rates as low as 1.49% APR on select Harleys. Put no cash down, sign, and ride away on your new Harley from Jet City Harley. Save thousands on interest at Jet City Harley Davidson. Under credit on new 2024 Lowrider ST, Lowrider S for Rogue Light 3 models. See dealer for details.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody, Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. 1 discount per household.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877-CARS for kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS for Kids to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS for Kids. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS for Kids. KARS, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your...
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
After years of football and the injuries that go with it, my first thought was always go get surgery. Hey, it's Dave Wyman, but after a consultation with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine, my eyes were open to an alternative to surgery, and I'm talking about stem cell therapy. Well, and my buddy and co-host Bob Stelton, also in pain, and decided to go see Dr. Wagner.
I had a hip issue from 14 years of jiu-jitsu.
How's the pain now?
Everything I did before, I can do just as well. Hitting the heavy bag, sparring, rolling, all of that is back in play. This whole thing has been such a pleasant surprise because I really was of the mindset, I'm going to have to go under the knife. I'm going to have to get surgery. And this really saved me from that. I could not be happier with the results.
Whether it's a hip like Bob had, a shoulder, a knee, a wrist, an ankle, before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine.
Do it. You will not regret it.
Hey, get the facts, hear from all the patients I've talked to, and schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, you're listening to Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
509 says, Bump, I think we need to have an honorary Get Off My Lawn segment Thursday, today, even though it's not Wednesday, just since you're back. Whoa, 509. Aren't you in for a treat? Coming up in 15 minutes, it's Get Off My Lawn, because we couldn't get to it yesterday, obviously, with the Mariners playing a game I wish I could unsee. Right now, we're talking about the Seahawks. Sheil Kapadia ranked the defenses heading into 2025. I knew that Sheil was pretty high on the Seahawks. I knew that a lot of analysts are. So I was expecting 5-6 would be like high, like hoping for top 10. And if it was out of the 10, I'd be like, okay, well, whatever. Number 1, Sheil has the Seahawks defense as the number 1 rated defense heading into 2025. Wow. He says, surprise, the reason I have the Seahawks in the top spot is simple. Coaching plus scheme plus talent. All the ingredients are here for a great defense. Do you agree?
I don't know. I wouldn't have them number 1 going in. I couldn't even tell you who I would have number 1 going in. But I think that he has reasons to look at this squad and think, all right, I think he believes in the teaching of Mike Macdonald. I think he believes in the personnel that they have out there. You get Nicky Mawari, who's going to help out. Your safety position is one of the top 2 duos in the game, in my opinion. You have a potential, well, already 2 Pro Bowl type corners out there, and then you have Ernest Jones and the big boys in the box. I think he's looking at the creativity that was shown just a little bit during the preseason game. Like, if you want to see what this offense and what this defense is really going to look like, you look at the first 6 or 7 snaps in the preseason game with the starters out there, and you start to have a good idea. And even with the backups, you see some of the creativity, man. It's the blitz bluff. You're showing it from one side, you're blitzing from another side. You're blitzing from depth, too. I think that's something that's special, because when you blitz from depth, right, Quarterback gets to the line of scrimmage. He's looking at his protection. He's trying to read coverages, trying to predict where the blitz is going to come from, and he slides his protection accordingly. If you can blitz from depth, and your O-lineman too, once they get into that drop, right, they feel like they've diagnosed the box and where the pressure's coming from. You get blitz from depth, get to the quarterback, is going to jack some things up. I was rewatching what was it? The Niners-Raiders game last night. I believe they, I think the Niners won in a field goal. Yeah, Moody kicked a field goal to win the game in the preseason. And that's exactly what I saw from the Niners, too, blitzing from depth. And you're looking at a young quarterback in O'Connell. I guess he's kind of young for the Raiders. And he was confused. And that's a lot of the stuff that Mike Macdonald is going to do with this defense. So, number one, I don't know. And that's just me being cautious because that's how I am when it comes to ranking, especially the home team, because I'm a bit harder on them as if they are my children. So I'm happy he sees that. I'll take it. I would start at top 10 and then work from there.
3 things I want to get here. Number 1, defensive line. 2, secondary. And 3, a separate prediction Sheil makes that I think was really intriguing to me. So number 1, defensive line. He says, up front, Leonard Williams is coming off a terrific year, while 2024 first-round pick Byron Murphy, the second, is a prime candidate to make the second-year leap. Pause. Let's comb through this a little bit more. Leonard Williams absolutely coming off a career year. I'm not super confident he's able to repeat it, not because he's not fully capable of being great, but it would be also acceptable to me if that ends up being his best year, or if that ends up being, better than 2025. It's kind of what I was expecting. It's not pure regression. It's just not quite putting up those sack totals. Secondly, I would love it if Byron Murphy took a big step forward. It's so hugely important that he does. How do we measure that success, and what's your confidence level, that he does?
I'm confident because of the people he's surrounded by. I'm talking about Byron Murphy. He's surrounded by Leo and Jay Reed, some veterans in the game. And you hear the way that Jay Reed talks about Byron Murphy. Jay Reed isn't the type that just hands out compliments, right? We've interviewed Jay Reed, nice dude, but he's not the guy who's going to go out of his way and make you feel good. If you're not doing what you're supposed to do, he ain't going to say nothing. But the fact he's coming out and he's talking about Byron Murphy tells you a lot. And you're surrounded by Leo, a guy who's been in the league for a long time already. 8, 9, 10 years this guy's been in the league and has had some success. So I think that you have no choice but to learn from those guys. And I think that the way that Byron Murphy is built, he is built to be an interior defensive lineman. He's about my height, but he's about 150 pounds heavier. He has quick hands. And I think with the chaos is going to go on around him, with the twist to the right of him, with the blitz to the left of him, that's just going to create more opportunity and more gas for him to get in and get in the backfield. But that's not what they're paying him for. They're paying him to take on these double teams, fill up the gaps so the LBs can get their money and make those tackles. But yeah, I'm optimistic about Byron Murphy. His second year in the game, his first year, he had some ups and downs, but you see the potential. Just physically, he is made for this. He's got quick hands, he's got a burst, and he's surrounded by some good people. I can see it happening. I can see a jump. And a jump, for me, he don't have to be a Pro Bowler. A jump, this means that he has a few more TFLs. He gets after the quarterback a bit. Tyrese Knight and Ernest Jones look better because of what he's doing up front. That's how he looks better. I can see him making a jump. Doesn't have to be a Pro Bowler to me, though.
Okay. Secondary. The secondary's talented, and rookie safety Nicky Manwari should be a fun player for Macdonald to work with. Pause. Let's look at that line. I think he's right, and we see a lot of that versatility in practice. This is public stuff. It's been talked about and written about, but obviously using him in these big nickel packages, using him as the third safety, he was getting pass rush drills. They've used him with all kinds of things. He won't be a pure pass rusher. The idea was that how versatile can we make him? How, what can we do here? What tools can we add to his toolbox? I'm still looking at Julian Love. I'm still looking at Reek maybe improving. Those are the pieces that I'm kind of concentrating on with this secondary. And Devin, obviously.
Yeah. What I like about Nick, though, is that he can do what Jamal Adams did. I'm not talking about get all those sacks, but he can get after the quarterback as well. He's disciplined on the backside. From what we've seen so far, we only got so many snaps with Nicky Manwari, but from what I'm seeing, he's disciplined on the backside of runs. But what's the position on offense that we constantly talk about how they are changing the game? It's the tight ends, All right, he is big enough to run with the tight ends and be physical with the tight ends. So when I say he can do what Jamal Adams can do, not at that level, I don't think they're going to ask him to do that as far as get after the quarterback, but he can also cover as well. I saw him have some good closing down speed. I believe Kelly was the tight end. He bumps about the line of scrimmage. He's going across the field. It's like a 2-yard gap. It's on a third down. Kelly catches the full ball, but then he gets downhill. Boom, he makes the play. He hustles to the football. That big nickel, you can do some things to, but he's also skilled enough to cover a slot if you need be and to drop into space. The versatility is what is going to make this guy special. But I'm with you on the outsides. You need those guys to continue to grow and get better. So when Nick does come in, you do that 3 safety, and he is the big nickel. You bump Spoon outside, and you're good to go. And if you go your base, you'll be just fine. So it's the availability of the versatility. You have a whole bunch of guys out there. You can mix some things up. But Nick could be a sneaky piece when it comes to that, just with his ability to cover the tight end, because the tight ends are changing the game. You're going to see some good ones in this division.
Okay, lastly, the third point. I said that there was just a really cool opinion, a really cool prediction that Sheil had for this team. Quote, I think the Seahawks defense is going to be one of the stories of the 2025 season, end quote. And I know that he's kind of wrapping up his summary of why he has them at number 1 with saying, like, hey, I think we're all going to be talking about him. It also, though, Bump, made me wonder if we're talking about this team enough already. I feel like we enter into the season, and as we have for many of the last several years, with lots of questions, some optimism, some stuff to like, but this is a team that hasn't made the playoffs in 3 of 4 years, that hasn't won their division in a minute. You know what I mean? Like, there's reason to enter with some caution. Are we not being as optimistic as we can be?
You should enter with caution. But the reason why some are extremely optimistic is because of what they've done in the preseason. You've done what you're supposed to have done in the preseason so far. I mean, you rushed for 268. I understand you got backups in there. Chiefs have backups. I get it. Sam Darnold was 4 for 4 for 34 yards. We're going to break down a couple of plays in 4-down territory, which I really liked about him. But you've seen what you wanted to see or was supposed to see during this preseason. But you are cautious because Kubiak's a new OC. Sam Darnold is a new quarterback. It looks like you're still trying to find a veteran guard on this offensive line, which the line looked good. You still haven't seen Ken Walker, really, and you haven't seen the ones go up against ones consistently, because you can win a drive or two. Mm-hmm. You're going to get 12 to 13 of these drives in a game. Can you win 6 or 7 of those? Consistency. That's what we're missing. But as far as their approach so far, when they're not scheming for another team, that should give you some optimism. But you still got to go out there and play against the big dogs.
Get off my lawn. Coming your way next.
I'm back. It's the final test.
Tonight, Charbonnet is going to rip off a big run.
Before the real deal.
You kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Jobs are on the line.
You know, who's in on the initial 53, who's on the initial practice squad.
It's off to historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay for the preseason finale. Seahawks, Packers, Saturday. Pre-game at 11 a.m. with Steve Rabel on the call.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Kickoff at 1 p.m.
on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on riversideroofingllc.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to riversideroofingllc.com.
Bonneville International radio station contests are open to participants 18 years of age or older that are residents of Washington State unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contests are not eligible to win unless the station otherwise specifies at its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 60 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. Full general contest rules are available on seattlesports.com or in person at the station during regular business hours. The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handle employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. And I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left, you want Chevy, go to the right, you want Mazda. Because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, ma'am, come with me, let me show you. And then having him come back and not dress me down is just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, hey, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, across the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and I can see clearly now. It's amazing. Let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for Refractive Lens Exchange, or RLE. Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, contacts, readers, or cataracts. So if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the capper. You're never going to develop a cataract. I'm somebody that needed readers in every room of the house. I needed to see the scoreboard out at ball games. I just couldn't see clearly. That has all changed thanks to RLE. Whether it's LASIK, EVO ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to point you in the right direction. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Well, normally this is Wednesday at 10:45, but we didn't have a show yesterday. We got to still get to these things. 3 things grinding Bump's gears, making him in his old age want to shout, "Get off my lawn!" Bump, what's driving you crazy?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Let's get it. Get off my dang lawn. The first one, I'm going to Michigan. Michigan was fined like $20 to $30 million because of what Jim Harbaugh allowed. Because he definitely told his boy, what was the guy stealing the signs? What's his name?
Connor Stallions.
Stallions, you're a American folk hero now, okay? For stealing signs. And this happened years upon years. And he gets a showcase clause, I believe it's called. 10 years he cannot be involved with college football. He had a 3 or 4 year clause before that. So 13, 14 years, Jim Harbaugh cannot be involved in college football. And he is not worried about that at all. You know why he's not worried about that? It's because over his time at Michigan, he made $50 million. He didn't have to give any of that back to the school that's being fined $20 million. This relationship is weird because University of Michigan is simply saying, yes, you cheated. Yes, we found out that you were cheating, but because we have this national championship, we're going to let you off clean. Don't worry about it, coach. You won a national championship, we're going to let it off clean. And on the flip side, you can look at that situation and say, well, maybe his sign stealing helped him win a national championship. Here's the thing about football. People are stealing signs all the time. Now, the depth that they went to steal some signs is a bit different. I don't think it really determined the outcome of the football game. I think end of the day, both teams were good. Just the better team won. But the fact that Jim Harbaugh just gets to leave, get out of town, don't have to pay any of that $50 million back is crazy to me. And it makes me think that's why you don't trip on these players for taking all the money they can and going to another school if they get another opportunity. Because another example, these coaches do the same thing all the time. Jim knew this was going down, that his team was cheating. He was actively cheating, putting this university and these kids in a compromising position. And when it's all said and done, he gets a dip. He's going to coach in the NFL for the next 5 to 10 years. He's going to make a bunch of money over there, and the university has to pay the fine. If I'm the University of Michigan, I'm taking some money from him. But the reason why they're not taking money from him is because the NCAA said there wasn't enough evidence to say him cheating led to them winning a national championship. I don't think so. They had like 13 players drafted on that roster. That team was good. I just don't like the fact that coaches just can get away with stuff like this, yet everyone gets on these kids for switching schools and taking money. I think that in some situations, these kids should stay here and grind it out and learn about themselves or whatnot. But in other situations, let them go. So if Jim Harbaugh can leave with $50 million and the university's fined $20 million, I want to hear no one say anything about these kids leaving or taking all this money.
Can I throw in a super quick theory just to be a sounding board here and tell me what you think about this? I think that quirky coaches get off a bit easier with stuff like that. And the quirkier, more likable, more unique you are, the more we excuse it.
Yeah, well, he's just a nerd.
Yeah, just
he
like
didn't mean
if he's
it.
just a character where you can kind of be like, that's so Jim Harbaugh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, it's easier to hate coaches that don't seem very likable, fun, friendly, anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Easy.
Okay, what's next?
Next up.
I'm a man. I'm 40.
So we got this new technology that we're using in the NFL called Sony's Hawkeye Virtual Measurement System. Heck of a name. And if you don't know what it is, it's when it's first or second and short, third and short, fourth and short, whatever it is, right? The referees are going to, instead of using a chain game, they're going to rely on 6 to 8 cameras that are positioned in the stadium to measure if it's a first down or not. Here's the problem I have with that, okay? It says the measurement happens roughly within 30 seconds. Supposedly with the chain game, it took about 70 seconds. My experiences, I was at the game last week against the Kansas City Chiefs. I've watched this happen on TV. It ain't taking no 30 seconds to get this done. It's taking way too long to get this done. And my other thing is, why are these referees using it when it's clearly not a first down? This should only be used when it looks like it is inches away from the line of scrimmage. It's almost like we're using a technology. You're trying to test it, I get it, but we're using a technology that's not really necessary, I feel like. I think the chain game was fine enough. I'm all for technology, but I think the chain game was more efficient when it comes to speeding up the game because it feels like it's taking way too long. It's like we're just using the technology because it's there. Yeah, my buddy has those Ray-Ban glasses where you can record stuff, and he just records random stuff. I'm like, why are you recording this?
That's kind of weird. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, why are you recording this? Oh, I just want to see how it works. That's what the NFL is like right now.
Were you in the FBI?
We're using the virtual measurement. It's like, that's clearly not a first down. Now, I'll give them some break and say maybe it's because of preseason they want to try it out, but it's taking way too long. The numbers say, at least what I'm getting, is that it's cutting it down by 30 to 40 seconds. It does not feel like that. I sat up there. I did a mock game during the Kansas City Chiefs game, and I'm sitting up there with Brian Walters, and we're vamping for like a minute, just waiting for them to figure this out. Waiting for them to figure this out. And, yeah, it's taking too long. So I don't know what the process has to go through. but I don't think it's ready. If it's going to take as long as it took during the Kansas City game and the Raiders game that I saw, just work on the technology because we ain't there yet.
What's last?
I'm a man. I'm 40.
Last one. All right, look, I'm all for pushing the limits a little bit, going 70 and a 60. You get into the back rows or the highways going 85, 80, and a 70. I'm all good with that. This is what you don't do.
Okay.
If you are not on the highway, do the speed limit, okay? Do not drive aggressively because there are kids around or whatnot, and I'm driving.
This is your oldest
I'm driving to work.
So washed.
This is very get off my lawn. I've been waiting for this.
Kids are everywhere.
I've been waiting for this.
I'm driving. And you know how sometimes the 2 lanes turn into 1 depending on what time of day it is because you got to allow people to park right there. So I'm driving. I'm doing 35. My easy 35. And this guy is on my bumper trying to get me to go faster. There's no one in front of me, but sir, we're in a residential. There are people around here. Let's be cautious. Catch me on the 405, it might be something else. But, we're on the back streets. And he tries to get around me, and there's a car that's parked, so he has to stop. And you know what I did? My petty self, I slowed down and looked at him and said, see? Stop driving. And I gave him the finger. Like, you stop driving aggressively. There are kids around here. Barbara's getting coffee, all right? Bob is on his daily walk with his dog, and you want to act all crazy. And then he gets behind me, and I get to the light. I have to turn left, and he's right next to me, and I just give him the look, and I wave at him. I go, there you go, sir.
Shame on you,
all the work
young man.
you've done, we're in the same spot. We're in the same spot. So, sir in the Volvo, okay? Residential streets, 35, go 35, 25, go 25. Catch me on the highway, we can dance a little bit, all right? Go to speed limit. Do the speed
Throw
limit.
hands. How was it? A younger guy?
Nah, he's like my age. Just aggressive on me,
See,
just trying to get me to go. I'm like, hold on, man.
That's. I find it almost more inexcusable when they're people our age or older.
Yeah,
because when it's young people, I'm like, okay, kids are annoying, teenagers are annoying. Your prefrontal, is it your lobe or your cortex? Who cares? Your brain isn't fully developed. Like, you're a teenager, you're annoying, you make dumb decisions, you don't have great critical thinking skills. When teenagers are caught speeding, I'm like, oh God, they're dumb.
Yeah.
When you're 45, like, don't you live here?
Yeah.
Is that your house?
You clearly
what are you doing?
are a resident here. Why are we doing this? And then he doesn't want to look. I'm like,
because he was feeling shame.
Make those eye contact.
Shame.
Like, we have to hold each other accountable in these residentials because we don't want anything happening to Barbara.
Well, I don't want anything happening to the Mariners. And the worst thing that could happen would be them losing their grip on a chance to get the AL West, certainly a chance to get to the playoffs. So let's ask Jordan Shusterman about some of his thoughts coming off a tough road trip. He joins us next.
There's something special happening in Soto.
I feel like that's what happens when you add guys. It just changes the mojo.
That roar coming from the corner of Edgar and Dave, it's different.
This one is going. Goodbye, baseball. Josh Naylor with a home run.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners return home for a huge 6-game set. Mariners, A's. First pitch at 7:10.
We believe in each other and we're ready to fight.
The push to the playoffs lives on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men, too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat-freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Hey homeowners, John Curley here. Why not improve your home's comfort and efficiency now? Plus, save 50 to 75% by combining tax credits, rebates, and incentives on a new heat pump from Home Comfort Alliance. Visit HomeComfortAlliance.com.
This is one of the most spectacular venues with all kinds of character and hospitality, scenery. These people in this Kittitas Valley, they love when you come to see what they have to offer.
I'm J.J. Harrison, Ellensburg Rodeo Clown, and I want to invite you to the rodeo. Come hang out with us in Ellensburg. Great rodeo Rodeo. Great time. 2 performances on Saturday. 1 is the Extreme Bulls of the Year event. Do not miss the Ellensburg Rodeo, August 29th through September 1st. We'll see you there.
Are you road trip ready? Bucky's Complete Auto Repair will make your car safe and dependable with expert service and old-fashioned care. Brakes, oil change, factory service, and more. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Bucky's.com.
1877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take the boat out for a spin or go mail something?
Boat wins!
Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing?
Boat wins!
Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing?
Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah!
With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with a Capital One Saver card. So let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
How we going, mates? It's Ryan Rowland-Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. If you haven't heard about it already, at the start of this year, I decided to get in the best shape of my life. So I lost 30 pounds of body fat, and I kept all that lean muscle. Best decision I ever made. People ask me all the time, what was the motivation to get in such good shape? So a couple of things. Number one, who doesn't want to be in the best shape of their life, right? Obviously physically, but for me, more important mentally. And it starts with a diet, and I finally figured out you can't outwork it. Eastside gave me all the tools I needed to be able to prepare food, have tons of energy, and was never, ever hungry. But there are some other motivators too. I had to lose a bunch of visceral fat. I found out I had way too much of that, especially as I hit my 40s. But one more, look, this is the most important one. I wanted to set a really good example for my kids, to be the best version of myself. My kids look up to me, and I want to be the absolute best example and role model. So look, if any of these resonate with you, there's no better time to start. The time is right now. Make that free 15-minute call to Eastside Weight Loss Clinic and get it started today. It'll change your life like it did mine.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
A lot of fights happening between the Seahawks and Packers at their joint practice today. From ESPN's Brady Henderson, quote, they're approaching double digits in terms of scuffles. A few punches have been thrown, including during a fight between Ernest Jones and Packers offensive lineman Zach Tom. Meanwhile, the Mariners get a much-needed off day today. They'll open a series against the A's tomorrow. Extra innings tonight at 7 p.m. on Seattle Sports.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Talking Mariners with Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. He joins us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Hey, Jordan, how's it going?
Hi, guys. Happy Thursday. A little different, but always good time to join you.
I know. I mean, I wish that it was a better time for the Mariners, but I think instead of trying to take, like, silver linings from a bad road trip, you just kind of want to bin it and be like, okay, moving on. However, is there anything coming from the road trip that does legitimately concern you? Or conversely, is there something that you thought, look, this looked horrible, but I've still got some faith in this?
Yeah, I mean, there's certainly elements of it that are especially spooky, considering they had a very similar concerning road trip last year at the same time. That said, I think what they were tasked with this year was a kind of a different beast. I mean, not to fully make excuses, but 3 city road trips are tough enough when you add in a fourth with that stop in Williamsport, as awesome as that was. And, we could talk about that. Like, it's not like, I don't think any of the players are saying, oh, hey, can't believe we had to go to Williamsport. Like, that stands alone, but it does add to what was being kind of on their plate. And then you add in the fact that, your final stop there is a stop in Philadelphia against a very, very, very good Phillies team. And it was kind of the perfect storm to end on a sour note and extend a losing streak to where it's at right now.
Did you watch the South Dakota Little League game last night or yesterday?
Did I watch it?
Man.
Oh my good dude, this was I think I posted this last night. That is, having watched the Little League World Series now for, I don't know, 20 years, but most of them pretty closely for the last 10 or so, one of the best games I've ever seen. There were so many moments during that one that just blew my mind.
I sat down in the last inning and watched them tied up. And then I don't know which one went up 5 or 6 in extra innings. And for them to come back, I was like, this is crazy. I'm sitting there by myself, folding clothes, getting hyped, watching 12-year-olds just perform at a high level.
Dude, that and I know that they ended up losing South Dakota. What a performance for them! And clearly, those teams were very evenly matched. And I not to go too down this rabbit hole, but there was just a moment towards the end there where South Carolina's best hitter, who is probably one of the best hitters in the whole tournament, was up with the bases loaded. And I cannot believe that kid struck him out in that spot. Like, you just assume that most of these kids are kind of going to crumble under the pressure there. I know they ended up getting walked off, but in that spot against that hitter, I was so impressed. And it was so cool. And getting to be around some of those teams and understanding what it means to these players, up close was, only added to the context and why I could appreciate it.
Last comment I have on that game, my favorite moment was the walk that tied the game up. Like, for that kid to stay off that pitch in that moment, dude, I'm thinking he's really like 16, 17 mentally. That was tough.
That's the thing. It goes both ways. You can't believe that either side has the the wherewithal and just like the cohesion and coherence to not totally bungle it like we all would when we were 12.
Yeah. Okay. I'm done, Stacy.
You guys can speak for yourself. I would have been calm and collected in that moment.
Yeah, Stacy.
Okay.
I would have been cool under pressure.
You've been crying like one of them pitchers,
no, I
man.
wouldn't
I feel
have.
bad for them pitchers. They were crying. But back to the Mariners. I had to get that out because I knew you watched that game.
Of course.
I know, Stacy asked me to start the show, what is your biggest concern? I said the ball throwers, the guys with the ball in their hand, the pitchers on the mound, trying to get this done. Just what are you seeing? I still think I'm optimistic. I still think that Kirby can figure it out. I think Logan has been a bit emotional this year, something I'm not used to seeing out of him. What's your optimism when it comes to just the rotation with Miller in it and then the bullpen? And then we're hearing Emerson might get a chance in the bullpen as well.
Yeah, I think you're on it in terms of what is the biggest concern. I obviously don't think that this series in Philadelphia was representative of their true talent level, but it was an example of, surely like the worst case scenario, but I do think it was at least indicative of some of the shortcomings when the starting pitching isn't perfect. Now, this is when they're, actively getting crushed, so it's a little bit different, but even when they're less than perfect, again, you're just exposing the whole staff to, overuse, to a lot more difficult decisions for Dan Wilson, some of which I know people vehemently disagree with, some of which you could say, well, what are his better options? There aren't really any great ways to turn. I kind of fall somewhere in between there, where there have been many situations this year where I wish there was a little bit more urgency because you now have an offense that can come back. And so it feels a little bit more frustrating to maybe use your lower leverage guys in games where you feel like you're back in it, but at the same time, you understand that you can't just throw Brash and Munoz every day. And even if you do, it's not always going to work out that easily. So these are all tough decisions, but it's also where the roster is at and where the inconsistency kind of leads you, especially when the starting pitching doesn't really set the tone.
How do you look at Houston's performance when it comes to trying to draw a silver lining for Seattle? Is it good news that Houston struggled, or is it bad news that Seattle didn't make up ground?
I think you still have to view it as good news. I think when we talked a week or two ago about the opportunity in front of them, even when the Mariners are playing well, it is about the fact that Houston is still flawed. And like I said then, and I will continue to say until they don't win the division, they still deserve to be the team to trust more to win the division than anyone else. But at the same time, you are seeing that this is still a roster that is short. This is still a roster that is missing some of its best players. This is still a roster that can get beat pretty comfortably, even by teams that aren't even necessarily that we think better than them or ahead of them in the standings. So I think that's kind of a reminder that, you know, I guess the Mariners can be grateful that they didn't fall too much farther behind. But to your point, too, it was also an opportunity that they didn't take advantage of. Granted, again, facing Philadelphia in Philadelphia at the end of that road trip, my expectations were pretty low.
Yeah,
that was going to be my question is just how do you put some context to it? Philly's a good ball club, and they got some power there. Turner's playing out of his mind as of late. And sometimes when I look at matchups, I understand you're just outmanned. You're outnumbered. You can win a ball game, but you're outnumbered. How good is Philly? And give the Mariners fans some type of context and hope when it comes to the end of this road trip.
Yeah, you know, it's also kind of getting back to Stacy's point about, okay, is it a missed opportunity? I know they kind of slipped away from them late, but there are also moments where it felt like the Mariners were absolutely right there and you know, could have competed in some of these games. And so that's where it feels a little, you know, it stinks a little bit more. But I mean, I'm all in on the Phillies this year. I picked them to win the World Series over the Astros, actually, when the season began. That's a prediction that has looked very good and very bad at times over the course of the year. And I'm not really sure how I feel about it right now, but you know, last year we saw the Phillies look like the best team in baseball for the first few months, fell off so hard in the second half, and then really flamed out in the postseason in memorable fashion. It seems like they're pretty intent this year, especially with some of the deadline moves to kind of keep that momentum, carry it all the way into October. I know some people think that momentum into October isn't real, and I understand that take, but I also think for the Phillies, they had been kind of so average for so long going into October last year that they were no longer threatening. This year, with the way they're playing, with how healthy they're getting, granted, losing Zach Wheeler is a massive deal, and that cannot, you know, I mean, that is a huge deal. But you saw the other pitchers they still have. There's still a lot of parts of this team that are as good as any in baseball, and I think you saw that this week.
When you mentioned, like, I don't know how good I feel about that prediction now. Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. My mind obviously immediately went to Houston, going, okay, the American League's a little more unpredictable. But then I thought, well, God, as amazing as the Phillies have looked, the Brewers have also been playing like the best team in baseball. Have you started questioning whether or not, first of all, are the Brewers doing what you thought they could do, or have they surprised you? And secondly, how much do you look at a team like Milwaukee that has surprised some people and say, God, maybe they should be, you know, a World Series favorite in the National League?
Yeah, the Brewers are in a weird spot because obviously when you win like 40 out of 50 games, it's hard to be like, nah, they're not actually that good.
I don't buy it.
But, you know, when you do compare them to Philly, it is a fun contrast because there's just so many fewer players that you know to be good, let alone trust in October, whether that is on the mound, whether that is, you know, part of the offense. How are they going to score runs? How are they going to slug when it comes to October? And that's why I do still kind of default to Philly, even after what Milwaukee has done. And you know, you've seen a little bit of Cubs punching back over the last couple of days, still well behind the Brewers because of how well they've been playing in the division. And I still expect Milwaukee to end up with the top 2 seed there. But ultimately, Milwaukee's in a spot where you really got to prove it in October. And that's taken on different forms, but they've been in the playoffs 6 out of the last 7 years, and they haven't made it to the World Series, right? Only made it to the CS once. So this team, I think there's a lot of reasons to believe it could be different. It could be special. It could be better. It could take down some of these more established teams. I love what I'm seeing. It's certainly an easy team to root for, but even though the Phillies have sort of backslid in the postseason each of the last 2 years after being in the World Series, that's still a group that I think I trust more that time of year than a group like Milwaukee.
How good is Julio playing right now?
This is starting to look pretty good. When you're seeing him, I mean, that home run yesterday was certainly something to behold, a reminder of his offensive ability. And honestly, that was kind of a refreshing homer because what has unfortunately been his undoing is chasing, right? Is swinging outside of the zone. That's a pitch that was clearly outside of the zone. He still found a way to do damage. I think that was pretty cool to see. And just, again, you see these flashes, these moments where it's like, oh, right, he's one of the most talented players on the planet. And so he's obviously been a huge part of it. You like to see him get going. Really nice to see Gino kind of putting some bigger swings on this week. I think that can kind of help balance out the offense, especially as Naylor has maybe been dealing with some injuries and cooled off. Obviously, Cal still kind of going through it outside of a few homers here and there. So you can't complain about what Julio's been doing lately, and I expect it to continue.
I wanted to spend a bit of time talking about what you think are some theories for differences in starting pitching, but first I want to talk about what differences we're actually seeing. We kept it very simple, and we're talking about ERA to start the show. Starters are 16th this year. They were first, I should say, in 2024. They were not as good on the road. So I think that that's a factor that, in my experience from earlier in the show, at least one listener was saying, look, this wasn't a pitching group that was great on the road last year. I think what we're seeing is they're mostly the same, just maybe not as lucky. But I don't know that it feels that way to me. And I know that, so they're 25th ERA on the road this year versus 19th in 2024. But to me, that drop from first last year for starters to 16th is so much more than just bad luck or injury. Like, there's a real thing there. I just don't know what it is.
Oh, 100%. And honestly, I mean, I think, when you're talking about numbers like that, you've just had some really bad outings, right? I mean, it's not just that, they're allowing 3 or 4 each and every time out, and that kind of adds up to an average ERA. I mean, you've had some serious clunkers that have kind of tanked the overall numbers, and that's just been the nature for literally all. I guess obviously Castillo and Wu have been there, but we know Castillo's been inconsistent. But for Miller, Gilbert, and Kirby, the injuries have impacted all three of them. There have been moments with all three of them where they have looked good, although Miller, for the most part, has not really at any point looked anything close to what he was last season. And it adds up because those are the guys that are making the starts, and so you just don't have the same kind of consistency. I think what we saw before this road trip appeared to be Gilbert and Kirby starting to round into the form that resembled more like 2024. But as we saw, this was clearly a step back this week. So is that ceiling still in there? Yes, but I mean, you have to say what is most interesting is if the Mariners are able to qualify for the postseason, and if they are lucky enough to line up their rotation, what does that look like? What is the trust factor right now for these pitchers, and who would you line up? Is it as simple as giving Brian Wu the ball in game one because he has been by far the most consistent pitcher, not just on this team, but in the entire league? Or do you default to the guys that you assume have the higher ceiling, like basically any of these other guys? I think Miller at this point is more of a wild card, but I'm really curious about that as the season goes on.
Is it time to just throw away the matchup situation when it comes to the lineups? We have some Texers who are for it. We have some who are against it. Me personally, I'm just to the point where I say throw your best bats out there. I don't care what the matchups look like. Where do you stand when it comes to this team in that situation?
Yeah, and this is obviously an equation that is going to be impacted by this bizarre, disappointing Victor Robles situation. And I don't even know. I mean, it's truly one of the stranger and more difficult roster conundrums I can really remember covering this sport is this Robles thing and this potential suspension and wanting to bring him back because you think he can make a spark, but also realizing that you would have to play a man down if you activate him and all these things. But to your point, the guys that are there right now, I hear you. I think, Cole Young has earned those everyday at-bats, I think, at this point. I think Canzone, you could say the same thing. You don't want to totally lose track of a Luke Raley because you feel like there is serious upside in there. Obviously, with Solano and Moore, we know where that has really gone this season. So I'm mostly on your side there, but clearly that there's still some level of appetite for mixing and matching to some degree.
I know that part of it is favoring handedness and matchups, and I get that. But Dylan Moore has been kind of a controversial. He's very well liked, but has really, really, really struggled. So he obviously was a fan favorite. People really liked him, but I think people are really, really frustrated with what he's doing. I've just assumed that his defensive flexibility keeps him there. Is that something that, in your opinion, managers should be more willing to sacrifice? Because at the plate, there's nothing.
I mean, I think yes, but not in the scenario that they are maybe about to face with Robles, because if you are playing a man down, you probably do need to maximize the versatility, both from a pinch running and, defensive substitution. And as bad as he's been with the bat, Dylan Moore still is giving you that more than, Solano. So I don't know, but I think it's a fair question to ask. It is kind of a tragic way for Dylan Moore's Mariners tenure to end, whether it does happen here in the next couple weeks or at the end of the season. Dude's the longest tenured player in the team. It's an unbelievable thing to consider when you realize that he had never played in the major leagues before they signed him to a major league contract, and he's been able to carve out this role with moments of offensive brilliance and Gold Glove last year. So I hope we don't lose sight of what Dylan Moore has been able to be for this team, but I also completely understand the frustration from fans who just do not want to see him hit ever again. I get it because the stakes just feel too high.
Well said, though. Last one. It's very easy before we let you go. Tell us what you got coming out this week, where listeners can find more from you.
Yeah, so Baseball Barbacast, of course, continues Monday, Wednesday, Friday. If you want more Brewers stuff, we just had a fantastic interview with their broadcaster, Brian Anderson, who's one of the best in the business, not just with the Brewers, but, basketball, baseball, postseason. He's fantastic. So shout out to BA on that. I got a piece coming out about Shane Bieber, who's making his return to the Toronto rotation on Friday. So you can look out for that later today, actually, at Yahoo Sports.
He is Yahoo Sports' Jordan Shusterman. Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, Jordan.
Thanks, guys.
The Seahawks regular season is approaching, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to their home opener on September 7th against the 49ers. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, August 25th. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, Bump, what's something that's different for Bill Belichick that you know he absolutely loves?
Bill Belichick is 73 years of age. He's been around football, the NFL, since 1975. He's been around the game, especially in football. And practices were different when I was playing football back in 2008, 9, 10, 11. It was different. You were practice, thudded up a bit more. You had your pads on or whatnot. But in college football, that's where you get dirty. You know how many live sessions we had in college football? Way too many. I don't know what our coaches were thinking. But you kind of got to prove yourself. There are no preseason games. You have non-conference games, but those non-conference games affect your college football playoffs. So I know and I read that Bill Belichick is loving the live practice. So when I say live, that means that everyone is live except the quarterback. You can tackle to the ground. It gets physical out there. We used to have about 10 or 15 plays every other practice to where things got live, coach blew the horn, we're live, baby, and guys got crazy. And he's reading and saying, I've never been around this much live football before during practice. And he has to love that. 1975, when he was an assistant with the Baltimore Colts, I guarantee you they were going 100 a lot of times at practice. But you need this at this level. You do risk injury, but there's part of the development that needs to happen. You need to learn how to practice. Once you get to the NFL, you learn how to practice like a pro. What does that look like? Just getting to the spot, thudding up, tapping the hip, and saying you're good to go. You got to protect your investments. But I know he is loving the physicality of practices at that college level. He's going to make these guys better.
Second down. I like this one. I'm very intrigued. What's something that happened on every snap when Sam Darnold was in, and what does it do to a defense?
Almost every snap. He went on a 10-play, like 80-something yard drive. Play number 1. JSN is to the left. He motions behind the 2 running backs. Play number 2, you have number 10, Cooper Kupp, motioning from right to left. Play number 3, you have JSN motioning in, then boom, snapping out. Play number 4 was a tush push. Play number 5, you got Sauber stepping off the line of scrimmage, motioning to the right side. Play number 6, you got JSN motion to the backfield and then swooping back out. You get my drift. Every play, there was some type of movement. And what that does to a defense, it makes them adjust. 1, it declares what you're in. Are you in man or are you in zone? Boom. You collect that information if you are Sam Darnold. Also, it forces communication. Are we shifting over? Are the safeties rolling down? Is he motioning all the way across and coming back? If so, safety's got to be on point with their role. I loved it because it gave the defense something to talk about every single play, and that is why you see Oots wide open in the flat. That is why you see JSN wide open in the flat. I love the movement. It's going to continue. I see what you're doing, Kubiak.
Third down. What in Kubiak's play calling shows of flow and connectivity? A word that I struggled to say just now. Sorry.
Flowing connectivity.
Connectivity.
Play number 1 was directly connected to play number 6. In play number 1, you have I formation, a fullback, and a running back. Jason is to the left of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold motions him over, snaps the ball. He goes behind the running back and the fullback, yet Sam Darnold hands the football off. So what that shows the defense is, look, hey, we got this motion in play. We call it an orbit motion. You get behind everybody. It's in play. You got to be alert for that. You go all the way down to play number 6. Guess what? You get an I formation again. You do have Sauber to the right, and you have Cooper Kupp in the slot, but they snap the football. What do you show? You show that orbit motion once again. The defense flows to the right of JSM. They fake the handoff to Zach Charbonnet to the left side, and instead of going all the way across, he snaps his hips and goes back the other direction. The defense is already flowing that way because they've seen this before. All they can do is hand the football off, right? No, sir. You fake the handoff, you hit JSN in the flat. He is wide open, butt naked on a Saturday, and it's an easy completion. Play number 1 was directly connected to play number 6. That's Kubiak saying, I'm going to set it up here, put that in the bank for a little bit, bam, I'm going to make this deposit, and the purchase is going to work out for me. Just an example of what to expect when it comes to this Kubiak offense. I was excited to see that. I went back and watched the first drive several times. Lots of good things happening with that offense.
4th down. All right, a lot of Seahawks reporters out at that joint practice against Green Bay saying that we're in like double digits with fights right now. Bump, what's good about team fights?
And I'm telling you, man, them team fights bring you together. When I was in college, we got into a scuffle with University of Idaho off campus on some random stuff twice.
Wait, off campus?
Off campus.
Where at?
They were tripping. They was trying to jump my boy at the mall. We went up there and got him
up.
Not at the mall. And then we were at a club one time. They got him up there, messing with my boy. We got him up. But I'm telling you, the car ride home, right? The post-fight analysis. Everyone's excited. You're getting together saying, yeah, and you be like, I can trust you. You got my back. I can
That's
trust
right.
you.
We went to war.
You got my back. So I'm seeing these guys. I'm sure the coaches don't like it. You are risking injury. But I guarantee you, when they're in the dorms, the hotel, the locker room, whatever, the post-fight analysis is where everyone comes together and you realize who's down and who's got your back. So you don't want to see it, ideally, but it's a violent game with a bunch of alphas out there. It's going to happen. There is a positive that comes out of this.
I feel like it should be a running joke that when we talk about fights, we go, look, fighting isn't okay. But listen, like this, because that's how I felt when I heard. So I read you earlier the tweet from Brady. It was before the show started that a Packers cornerback had gotten into Jake Bobo's face, and then Ken Walker got in the Packers cornerback's face. And I thought, yeah, that's right, Ken.
Yeah, for real.
Let's go, Ken.
I don't condone it. It's like my kids. If my son goes out and someone's messing with him,
look, it's not okay.
My other son better be jumping in too. Y'all ride together, die together. We're gonna do this. So
that's right.
Hey, keep coming together. I like it.
I've got good news for fans who want to see more from Jalen Milroe. That's coming up next.
I'm back. It's the final test.
Tonight, Charbonnet is going to rip off a big run.
Before the real deal.
You kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Jobs are on the line.
Who's in on the initial 53, who's on the initial practice squad.
It's off to historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay for the preseason finale. Seahawks, Packers, Saturday. Pre-game at 11 a.m. with Steve Rabel on the call.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Kickoff at 1 p.m.
on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. But what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how do you get the most you can without trying to sell it yourself? That's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. Seriously, they've already given back over $800,000 to their customers. It's such a great offer, and I know exactly what you're thinking right now. But how are they able to do it? It's not a consignment because you get paid for your car right away. Wayscar Ford pays you right up front. They buy your car for fair market value. No more insurance, no more maintenance, no more storage. Then they pay you half the profit when they resell your car. So get the most money possible for your old car at Wayscar Ford, Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work. WayscarFord.com.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and yeah, the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Hi, I'm Justin Shirley. We offer 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 24 months on new roofs. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with the Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Heading outdoors or on the water this weekend? Check in with Joey and Nelly on the Outdoor Line from 6 to 8 a.m. every Saturday on Seattle Sports and the Seattle Sports app.
One 877 Cards for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
How we going, mates? It's Rowland-Smith for Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. If you haven't heard about it already, at the start of this year, I decided to get in the best shape of my life. So I lost 30 pounds of body fat and I kept all that lean muscle. Best decision I ever made. People ask me all the time, what was the motivation to get in such good shape? So a couple of things. Number one, who doesn't want to be in the best shape of their life, right? Obviously physically, but for me, more important mentally. And it starts with a diet, and I finally figured out you can't outwork it. Eastside gave me all the tools I needed to be able to prepare food, have tons of energy, and was never, ever hungry. But there are some other motivators too. I had to lose a bunch of visceral fat. I found out I had way too much of that, especially as I hit my 40s. But one more, look, this is the most important one. I wanted to set a really good example for my kids, to be the best version of myself. My kids look up to me, and I want to be the absolute best example and role model. So look, if any of these resonate with you, there's no better time to start. The time is right now. Make that free 15-minute call to Eastside Weight Loss Clinic and get it started today. It'll change your life like it did mine.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline, and we have some good news for Seahawks fans. Oh, there we go. Sorry, I was like, where did this go? Okay, so this is news from today's Seahawks-Packers joint practice. Mike Macdonald says that Jalen Milroe will start and play the entire preseason finale against the Packers.
Yeah, he should.
Well, I know, but I know that you and many others were waiting to see as much as you possibly could about Jalen Milroe.
Give him the whole game. 50, 60 snaps, see what he can do, and do everything. Run him, play action, establish the run like you've been doing, right? You got to set everything up like that. But, no, I'm excited for him. I'm excited for Damian Martinez. I'm excited for Helani as well because they're going to be essential when it comes to helping Jalen Milroe. But I want to see how he handles stress. There's going to be a third and long. You're going to make a mistake. He's probably going to throw an interception. There are things that are going to happen in a negative light. How do you bounce back from it? And then how much more athletic do you look on the field than these other guys? Because that's what excites me the most is that he can make something out of nothing. Physically, he can throw the football on a line. We know he can run. But how do you handle the pressure situations, and how much better do you look on the field when you look at your opponents?
Exactly. I think I'm just really curious because, look, in a perfect world, Jalen doesn't really throw the ball for you much at all in the regular season. And you have Sam start every game and he looks great, right? Like dream scenario. So this could be the last look that we have for a long while at Jalen Milroe, seeing what he looks for 4 quarters. And I don't know, man. I was so excited when they took Milroe. We were all texting each other, oh my God, I can't believe they actually did it. And I just, that story, once it became very clear it was not an actual quarterback battle, that story kind of fizzled for some people. And Milroe, it's not like he had like the flashiest camp. So I'm like, well, maybe a flashy preseason finale. You never know. Next up, Mariners reliever Taylor Saucedo posted on social media that he received a death threat to his Instagram after his relief appearance on Wednesday. This person's a loser. That's not what Taylor said. That's what I'm saying. Taylor said, quote, I understand wanting me gone after today and this year as a whole. Nobody's more disappointed with how this year has gone for me than myself. Trust me, I want to win just as much as all of you, whether I'm here or not. But messaging me this stuff and my girlfriend and sending this stuff is beyond baseball. It's insane how comfortable people are sending this stuff to not only me, but to my partner. Tell me I suck all you want. That's fine. But at some point, we got to get a grip. The message that he got is like not safe at all to read on radio, nor is it relevant to read on radio because it's just a degenerate loser.
People, I understand the emotion behind watching him struggle. Like I watched him struggle, and I'm angry. I'm talking to the TV.
Yeah, I get frustrated. I said it was a bad decision.
He is a player. He has a jersey on, and he is a player. I'm not critiquing Saucedo the person, and I don't wish him any harm. But was I frustrated with his performance? Yeah. Guess who was even more frustrated? Saucedo.
Yes.
He's the one out there struggling. Have you ever been out on a playing field and just struggled, and you know you're letting your team down? That's what I was feeling watching the Little League World Series last night, is I know that this pitcher's getting lit up, and he's crying on the mound. Granted, these are old men or grown men. They're not going to cry on the mound. But this is a person. He should not receive these death threats. The only person who would be qualified to do it would be a Hall of Famer. And guess what? He's not going to do it because he realizes this is a person. And whoever sent the death threat, you are a coward, man. Like, come on, dude. Be mad that he didn't perform. Say that he needs to be sent down. I get all that stuff, okay? That's part of sports and the transactions or whatnot, how things happen. But don't forget, this is a human being. Yes, he didn't play well, but that's unnecessary.
Yeah, I would. First of all, the vast majority of fans of any organization, and I would imagine certainly Mariners fans, don't threaten players or say nasty things to players. Now, guys, I would say more people than you think probably do say rude things on Twitter to these guys, send messages. A much smaller percentage send death threats, but they do exist. I've often wondered if it's like that's where you get into the overlap of sports gambling, where people get legitimately, irrationally angry at players because they're already kind of like not only unhinged, but like they're angry for something bigger than a loss. They're like not right mentally.
That definitely plays a part into it.
And I think that sports betting probably is going to lead to more people feeling like you ruined my life.
Yeah.
But I don't know, man.
This isn't Madden. You're not watching a computer simulation.
Yeah.
These are real people out there.
But I think some people are just never going to understand that.
No.
You know?
Because a lot of these people have never been in a situation like that either.
Well, and I think that some people are just dumb.
Facts.
Some people just are not capable of a very high emotional IQ. And I'm imagining it's this person who said such a horrendous thing to Taylor and to Taylor's partner.
If I asked AI to show me a person who sends a death threat to Saucedo, I'd be interested to see what AI thinks that person looks like.
This person, you know what's interesting? People will say, I would bet that the vast majority of players, now I don't know for sure, you would know more than me because you've been around these guys, you've been a player. I would bet that the vast majority of people to your face, for instance, have never said a bad thing. But like if you were a player when Twitter was huge, they definitely would have like a single muff punt. They would have been like,
Here's the thing.
bum.
Here's the thing too is I get people who disagree with me constantly on the text lines.
Oh, like for the show. Yeah.
When I'm out in public, it's
Always
all
good.
love. There could be a person who don't like me who's gonna walk by me and be like, "Oh, this Michael Bumpus," but he ain't gonna say nothing to me, nothing like they do on the text line.
No.
Oh, it's that's the reality we live in, unfortunately. And some of these dumb, disgusting people have a voice. I would just encourage Salcedo, just stay off of it.
Yeah.
You know.
Stay off, and also Taylor, ignore a loser.
Yeah.
Everyone else is behind you.
That opinion means nothing.
Next up, Arch Manning says he doesn't know why his grandfather, Archie, said he was going to stay at Texas for 4 years.
Arch, your grandpa gave an interview where he said he expects you to be here next year. Is he right?
Yeah, I don't know where he got that from. He texted me and apologized about that, but I'm really just taking it day by day right now.
When this story broke where Archie Manning was saying like, oh, he's going to stay there and play. I think we had a conversation that day. It was like in the timeline about like, yeah, but what if he is guaranteed to be a number 1 pick? Is he going to walk it back? I don't say this isn't him walking it back. Like he didn't say it, but I love that the story quickly became, whoa.
Yeah.
Let's not be crazy. Texas is the number 1 ranked team. We're talking national championship here.
If he's projected number 1, he's probably going to leave. If something happens and he slides down a little bit, or maybe he gets a crazy NIL deal, I can see him staying 1 more year. But nah, Coach, you know what happened with Grandpa? Grandpa was on that lazy boy, legs crossed, had a couple whiskeys, and was like, yeah, the best thing he should do is stay. I think he's going to stay. And even spoke. Things happen like that all the time. But I like the young man stepping up to the mic and be like, yeah, I don't know why he said that. So that shows, you know what that shows? Leadership. That's a quarterback right
really?
there.
I thought you were going to say that he's going to go pro after this year. I think
it's
that's what
showing that
shows.
you can stand up to what your grandpa said. But like, actually, no, that's not it. So,
you know what this
good
is?
job.
You know what this is a classic case of?
What?
You can empathize with this. It's when your parents try to parent your kids.
Yeah.
And it's like, mom and dad, I'm the mom and dad here.
Right.
Like
That's not how
I'm
we
the
do it.
dad. Yeah. I will parent my kid. Like I appreciate the help, but I don't need your help on this one.
Oh man.
Next and last story. Yahoo Sports' Kendall Baker has the scoop on MLB's next media rights deal. Here's what Kendall says. That MLB rights are close to being done. What he's hearing. 1, Apple is fully out. R.I.P.
no.
Friday Night Baseball. Look, I know that every time
Can't
we
let
mention
Wyman and Bob win.
we can't let them win. That camera quality is 10K.
Amazing. Oh,
it's
it's
unbelievable.
incredible.
God, I'm going to miss the Apple TV cameras. They got Apple money.
Yeah, it's on point.
It's crazy.
What I don't like about the Apple broadcast are the big headphones they make their reporters wear.
Yeah.
I'm like, can we be a little more subtle? Them things are
It's
big.
the Apple headphones, that like the big ones.
Look like they're about to go skiing or something, man. Like, what are we doing?
2, NBC/Peacock is in for Friday and Sunday exclusive and wild card.
Okay.
Would that be question? This wouldn't be in effect at all for this year. This would be for
I believe it's next year.
starting with next year,
Yeah.
presumably for a new media rights deal. Would this mean Friday Night Baseball exists on Peacock?
I think so.
Okay.
And then I believe it also means Sunday Night Baseball exists on NBC and Peacock.
Okay. Well, I mean, if it's on
It'd
NBC,
be- I think NBC should do fine with this. It's going to be weird seeing Sunday Night Baseball not on ESPN. That's going to be bizarre.
the fourth one is the one most people are going to be most interested in. Number 3, MLB TV is being sold to ESPN for a boatload of money.
ESPN's just acquiring everything.
Buying everything.
They bought the NFL.
Red Zone.
They bought
UFC.
WWE. Yeah, UFC.
I'd be curious to see how the analysts work out. They need to keep as many MLB analysts as they can, because I don't think I'm like out of line by saying that ESPN really excels with NFL coverage. And while Jeff Passan, Jesse Rogers, they have great Alden Gonzalez, great baseball voices, Buster Olney. I'm curious to see if they add more specialized baseball voices.
Only problem I have with ESPN is I'm scheduling my flights for the ASU game I'm calling on ESPN. You guys holler at me. And the process is too difficult. It's too difficult. Like when you have to send me a slideshow on how to schedule my flights in my hotel, we're doing a bit much.
Last one, number 4. I mentioned this is the one most people are going to care about. Netflix gets the home run derby.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Netflix taking over too, man. Netflix said, look, we'll try it. If it ain't for us, then we'll leave it alone. They
not
tried
mad.
a lot.
You know what
Yeah.
all this means?
What?
Streaming prices are going up again.
What is up to like 20 now?
Yeah, Netflix is in the 20s for sure.
Remember when it was like $5 like 20 years ago?
Remember when it was just DVDs?
Yeah. Getting delivered to your house?
Yeah, you get 3 at a time.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so that's the latest again. That's from Yahoo Sports' Kendall Baker. We are going to go Seahawks Mariners here. So coming up at noon, Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us. We had a lot of questions about pitching. Before we get to that, though, going Seahawks, does a 2022 John Schneider quote tell us whether the Seahawks are in on trading for a pass rusher? Don't go anywhere.
There's something special happening in Soto.
I feel like that's what happens when you add guys. It just changes the mojo.
That roar coming from the corner of Edgar and Dave, it's different.
This one is going. Goodbye, baseball. Josh Naylor with a home run.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners return home for a huge 6-game set. Mariners, A's. First pitch at 7:10.
We believe in each other and we're ready to fight.
The push to the playoffs lives on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Sometimes even heroes need rescuing.
I'm a retired firefighter, 27 years.
Kurt had severe pain in his knees and his shoulder, which was keeping him from enjoying his well-deserved retirement.
Loved to ski, loved to fish, and couldn't even walk 18 holes.
That's why Kurt decided to see Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine for stem cell therapy.
He was just awesome. He goes, yeah, give me a shot. And he took care of me. He stemmed my knee and my shoulder.
And how are you feeling now?
I was pain-free in 12 weeks. I play golf now pain-free, and it's awesome.
So you'd recommend this treatment to others in your situation?
Absolutely. Yeah, Dr. Wagner's, he's had a couple people call me, and I recommended that they do it.
Before you choose surgery, consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Mark Wagner, MD at Seattle Sports and Regenerative Medicine. Schedule your consultation at drmarkwagnermd.com.
We just want to have enough money for retirement.
And travel to visit our grandchildren.
I understand. That's why at Fisher Investments, we start by getting to know each other, so I can learn about your family, lifestyle, goals, and needs, allowing us to tailor your portfolio.
What about commission-based products?
We don't sell those. We're a fiduciary, obligated to act in your best interest.
So how do your management fees work?
We have a simple management fee based on the value of your portfolio, so we do better when you do better.
We appreciate that kind of transparency.
We also check in with you regularly to keep you up to date on the markets and your portfolio.
What other services do you offer?
As a client, you have access to resources on investing, financial planning, estate planning, Social Security, Medicare, and more.
Wow, it sounds like Fisher Investments has everything we need.
At Fisher Investments, we're clearly different. Learn more at FisherInvestments.com.
Investing in securities involves the risk of loss.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your boat, boat wins.
What are you going to do? Take a boat out for a spin or go mail something? Boat wins! Are we cleaning the patio or taking the boat out fishing? Boat wins! Are we skipping that eye exam to go sailing? Boat wins!
Rescheduling eye exams can be a nightmare.
All right, fine. Eye exam, then boat.
Yeah! With Progressive, you can bundle your boat with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings on your boat. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Ready to order?
Yes. We're earning unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card, so let's just get one of everything.
Everything?
Fire everything. The Capital One Saver Card is at table 27, and they're earning unlimited 3% cash back.
Yes, Chef! This is so nice.
Had a feeling you'd want 3% cash back on dessert.
Ooh, tiramisu.
Earn unlimited 3% cash back on dining and entertainment with the Capital One Saver Card. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Terms apply. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks season opener on Sunday, September 7th. Open the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds of winning 4 tickets to the Seahawks season opener. Do it every day, August 19th through August 25th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. On a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Endless hours of research, seeking referrals, dozens of calls. Hiring the right attorney can be a challenging process during an already difficult time. JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains.
In Washington State, Tom, there are thousands of attorneys to choose from. Referrals and online research can be helpful, but discovering the right attorney requires a conversation. It can be hard to identify integrity and authenticity without that interaction.
So, what do you recommend?
We encourage anyone looking for personal injury representation to call for a free consultation with our team before making a decision simply based on referrals or online research. Accident victims need an attorney that listens, demonstrates honesty, and is genuinely understanding of their unique circumstances. The care, attention, and preparation that our firm provides throughout the case mirrors the effort involved when taking on the insurance companies.
Save time and avoid mistakes after an injury. Contact the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, back to Mariners in less than 15 minutes with Rowland-Smith right now. Does a resurfaced 2022 John Schneider quote tell us whether the Seahawks are in on trading for a pass rusher? I saw Ben Baldwin posting this one. It's from 3 years ago, again, 2022. John Schneider was a guest on the GM Journey podcast and said this.
And then from, like the bigger trades we've made, we traded for an individual and made him the highest paid player on our team. And I would never, ever do that again. Just didn't know it philosophically at the time what we were doing. We knew we were doing, but we should have known better.
We once traded for someone and made him the highest paid player on the team. Never gonna do that again. Let me tell you what, trading for Micah and paying him would make him the highest paid player on the team.
Yeah, that's different though, man. Look, John, people are allowed to change. You're allowed to change your approach and your philosophy. Is 3 years enough for John to listen to that and see what's out there right now and say, you know what, maybe I would. Because he's already done some things that he hasn't done before. He made Zabel, I haven't done in a while. He made Zabel the highest drafted interior offensive lineman since 2001. He wasn't around in 2001, but it's been a while. They drafted Jermaine Ifedi as well. He was a first-round pick, but 31st pick overall. What would it take to make because we're assuming it's Micah Parsons, right? The base of our conversation is, should you go after Micah Parsons? There are rumors that the Packers offered 2 first-rounders, a second-round pick, a fifth-round pick, and you have all of that available as well. I think that because of his relationship with Mike Macdonald, if Mike Macdonald went to John Schneider and told him, if we get Micah Parsons, we're going to a conference championship game. I believe in what's going on. If he can convince him, then I think you might change because you've been around a certain group of friends. I got a group of friends who are the drinkers and the partiers.
It's me and Curtis and Matt.
Clearly. Go out with those dudes. You might have a couple more than you normally have. Mm-hmm. Then I go out with my other friends who are the responsible, the husbands, the fathers, the golfers. Bit more calm, bit more chill. Bloody Mary and a cigar, I'm good to go, right? So what type of influence does Mike Macdonald have on John Schneider? If he could have the greatest PowerPoint in the world and say, if we get Micah Parsons, this is what's going to happen to our defense, he might be able to convince John Schneider that you do go after a guy like that. And so what if he's the highest paid player on the team? He's going to play like it. John could stick to his guns and listen to this or believe in this quote that he had, but I always give room for change when it comes to people.
I was thinking, what are the cultural, locker room culture impacts of doing this? Because the Seahawks have done it before. Percy Harvin is we all thought like he's talking about, because while you traded for and then later paid for Jamal, it was only later, and also he wasn't the highest paid player on your team. You did give Percy a massive contract immediately after acquiring him. So guessing that's what John's talking about.
Yeah.
Percy ended up being a locker room problem, got into a fist fight with one of your players. Now, you went to a Super Bowl and won, so who really cares? It didn't like drastically alter your season. You had the best possible outcome for your season that someone could have. But I think in hindsight, I would imagine that John, Pete, the rest of the team would be like, yeah, that guy wasn't quite a fit. Culturally, like he wasn't a fit for this clubhouse. Is there something that you think is affected in any way by a team if you were to, like in a world, the Seahawks go out and acquire Micah? They bring him here. They immediately make him the highest paid player on the team. Does that create any animosity, weirdness? Does it make someone a leader who hasn't earned it?
No, because there's a reason why you're paying him like that. Because he's shown on the football field he can get her done. That's what it's about. If you are a baller, everyone's going to give you the benefit of the doubt. And even if you rub them the wrong way once or twice, they're still going to give you the benefit of the doubt because of what you can do on the football field. Nobody's hating on Micah Parsons if he rolls up in that locker room. Only way they're hating is if he's just a trash teammate. And even then, they're going to tolerate a lot. Nothing has come out and said that Micah Parsons is a bad teammate. Now, I've heard people say or reports that he's difficult with management. And I can understand that because he wants to get paid and he's not getting paid because Jerry Jones cornered him in a room, had a conversation and said, all right, we'll take that conversation, ignore your agent, and we're gonna make this true. No, there are ways that the Cowboys are handling this that I think can change that or have affected that relationship. But nobody is looking at Micah Parsons and being the highest paid player on this team and saying, man, he ain't even worth it. Man, I should be that guy. No, he is worth it. He's the best player on the team.
I mean, you do immediately have to become a leader. You can't come here, be the highest paid player on a team, be this high profile trade, and not immediately be. The only exception to that was like when Jimmy Graham came here, because a tight end is rarely going to be like the voice in your locker room. Yeah. But otherwise, you're expecting that you trade for this premier outside backer. He's going to come here and be a premier leader.
Yes.
Right?
Yes. One of them at least. If Michael were to come over here, Leo is still a leader. It is still Sam Darnold's offense. Ernest is still going to be a leader. Just because he is the highest paid doesn't make him the one and only leader. Football teams got at least 4 or 5 voices that people to stop and listen to whenever they speak. And even if they don't agree with them, you're still going to get the team's attention. No, it's not just. There's too many guys on this team to have one guy just be the guy.
Do you think the Seahawks will trade for Micah Parsons?
No.
Do you think
I want
they
them
should?
to. I'm all in. I'm all in.
You know what Curtis is all in too? I think like everyone I talk to about it is like, yeah, absolutely.
I'm all in. You're trying to win now. Just like the Mariners. I was all in there. I have just a sense of urgency. And it's probably because I've been spoiled because I've seen my teams growing up win a lot of ball games. And they've acquired players. They've drafted players. They've done it in several ways. So I just want that feeling here. And I think that Parsons gets you closer. You still got to wait on this offense to see what they look like, though.
I do agree with that. Ryan Rowland-Smith joins us next.
I'm back. It's the final test.
Tonight, Charbonnet is going to rip off a big run.
Before the real deal.
You kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Jobs are on the line.
You know, who's in on the initial 53, who's on the initial practice squad.
It's off to historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay for the preseason finale. Seahawks, Packers, Saturday. Pre-game at 11 a.m. with Steve Rabel on the call.
Touchdown, Seahawks!
Kickoff at 1 p.m.
On the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
A ton of fights happening between the Seahawks and Packers at their joint practice today. From ESPN's Brady Henderson, quote, they're approaching double digits in terms of scuffles. A few punches have been thrown, including during a fight between Ernest Jones and Packers offensive lineman Zach Tom.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now.
Ryan Rowland-Smith joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Ryan's weekly visit brought to you by Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. Ryan, how's it going?
Good. How you guys doing?
Good. I am excited for this team to have an off day and to try to get right with a couple series beginning at home here against the A's. Before we look ahead, though, we do unfortunately have to look back. But I do think there's some stuff we can learn, some stuff we can take away, and hopefully maybe pump the brakes on anything to panic about. To begin the show, Bump and I were ranking our areas of concern. Both of us had starting pitching combined with the bullpen as our number one area of concern, and that was very much on display for this road trip. How concerned are you with the group, and is there any optimism you have that they can continue to improve?
Well, first of all, judging by the the road trip, and you guys are spot on. The starting rotation, man, I don't think they've had a worse turn in the rotation all year than what they really did this last little stretch of the road trip. And it was rough. It really was. And just saying Logan, with the 2-inning outing he had, just no answers. Everything was down the middle. And you have those days. I talked about it on air a lot. Bryce Miller, that was a bright spot to see him come back. The velocity looked good. A little bit of it started to dip a little bit once he got into the third and fourth inning. But just to have him back, it's going to take one or two. George Kirby, I'm not too worried about, to be honest with you. The one that I'm concerned about, though, is just watching Luis Castillo yesterday, and not based off performance. That's one thing, but just there's a little bit of dip in velocity. You could tell he kept kind of, looking around, looking up at the radar gun a couple times, trying to figure it out. And he's fine. He said he's healthy, but I was just curious. I was wondering why. The velo was so down. You could see all of a sudden he starts spraying the ball because he's trying to reach back for something. He had that extra off day. So that's a concern. If it's something minor that, they're not really telling us about a whole lot in regards to, could be a flu or could be, rolled his ankle. I don't know. I'm just using random examples of that. Then it's okay. But that was a little concerning for me just as you head into this stretch run, because I've said this to you guys a ton, offense or not, starting pitching, you have all 5 starters back in this rotation, and that's what you're going to lean heavily on going into this stretch run. So, yeah, it was a concern. It definitely was. Bullpen, yep, bullpen's always a concern. We know that, especially if the rotation doesn't do good things, you're going to expose your bullpen. So, it was rough, guys. And one last thing too on this last trip that you talk about what we learned. That Phillies team, they lost Zach Wheeler, but they are built like a postseason team. It was a tough 3 games, man. It really was. And they were on fire. Obviously, offensively, they were doing everything right. But just in that environment, they'll get things done when it counted and everything else. So that's what you're up against once you get to October. I have no doubt this team is going to be in the postseason. But, man, you want to be firing and be confident and healthy once you get to the end of September going into October.
Ryan, take me into the culture of a baseball team, right? Obviously, I played football, so when things are going bad as a unit, what we do? We go out, we break bread, we eat, we talk about some things. We get closer, right? But baseball is such a weird sport to me. Like, what do pitchers do collectively as a group when they're going through something? Do they just kind of isolate themselves? Do you talk about it? What's the move?
Well, it depends on the personnel you got in there, and it's a great point. I mean, it's a great topic because I've been on teams, and you're talking about just if you're going to isolate not going well when you have a bad turn in the rotation, or a couple games there where you're starting rotation, you feel as a group not getting deep enough in the games, and and you're looking at the bullpen guys, hey, my bad, you guys are doing heavy lift and throwing inning in 2/3 when you threw a day ago, and I know you cooked, and you look at them, you're like, oh man. So there's that. Now, depends on the personnel. So I've been on teams where you have I've been in a couple different situations. One, I've been in a rotation with more veteran guys, good and bad. In other words, guys who are in a rotation where they look after themselves, they get what they need to get done, and that's just how it is, and they go and do their work and whatever. So when you're struggling, you're isolated in that sense. But then I've been in other rotations where, man, like as a group, they come out, watch your bullpen. They'll be talking to you about different things. Some guys you wouldn't expect either, who are really, really helpful in that regard. And then I've been in a rotation where we're, a couple of young guys. Like, for example, Brandon Morrow, myself, sort of bonded, and we had a couple other young starters. Doug Fister was in there as well. And it was nice because you had, a little bit more of a group of guys who are really trying to, not come up at the same time, learn things on the go. And we had an R.A. Dickey in that rotation who was really instrumental for me in regards to pushing through that month of September, which I'd never done before. So I had different groups. So it really, really depends on who you have. Now, with this current 2025 team, we see how close they are as a group. And we see how they're always hanging out in the dugout. Every time the camera goes on the dugout or I glance down there, and you're seeing them, all talking, all hanging out, sitting on that top step together. That tells me, that speaks volumes, man. That is huge. And so you kind of, I'm sure it's the same in football, whereas starting pitching or bullpen guys or the hitters or whatever, they kind of, get in their little cliques. And that's when you go and have dinner or you go hang out, grab lunch, grab coffee, whatever it is, away from the field and also at the field too. So it's really, really, really important.
We were talking about Gino heading into this series saying, oh, man, he's starting out a little slow with Seattle, but it's okay. Maybe he'll get into the swing of things. And you started seeing it a little bit. He had kind of a moment in a really busy inning against the Mets in Seattle's second win. And then obviously had a home run the other day. But I don't feel like he totally kind of bounced back the way that, maybe my most optimistic self would hope. But tell me what you did see from Gino.
Yeah, I think he's really close to just being an absolute monster in the lineup. I really do. A couple of things. Going back to the Baltimore series, there's a couple at bats there where, because the swing and miss was way up, right, since he got in the Mariners uniform. And that's the one thing with Gino that you have to live with. So you see that it comes over in the trade, 36 home runs and his all-star year and what have you. You do have to understand that you are going to get frustrated because we'd seen it prior in the first stint with the Mariners. If you can live with a swing and miss, and he's going to go through batches of games where it's swing and miss heavy. So we saw plenty of that, the first little stretch, and just not big impact. Then all of a sudden, a couple base hits up the middle. He had one actually back on the homestand. Then you had the same thing in Baltimore, whereas a pitch where he stayed through, didn't try and do a whole lot, wasn't missing by 3 feet. He just kind of stayed on the ball, stayed up the middle, bang, base hit. And then all of a sudden you start seeing the mistakes get hit into left field. That was huge. That 2-out hit he had in Philadelphia was massive. You mentioned the one in New York as well. But you're starting to see him stay up the middle, and he's got, man, when he gets comfortable and he gets in that mode where it's a swing off, I'm going to stay right up the middle, my eyes are going to light up on this pitch, and I'm going to drive it. That gives him the ability to drive the ball to left field and to right field, and stay gap to gap, where he can be a real impact. So he is very, very close. And you see him, too, in the dugout. Matter of fact, we had a chance to watch him and Macdonald, the hitting coach, down in the dugout, and they're talking, and I was just watching there. Obviously, I don't have a mic on them, but you can see what they're talking about. They're processing everything. He's getting some extra work in, and you could see him gesturing, that same hand gesture I see in the dugout all the time when guys are talking about staying through the ball, and that was huge. I saw that, I was like, oh, here we go, man. He's very, very close. And by the way, and back to Bump's point too, Gino, we know what kind of impact he has on the locker room. It also works the other way too. When he's not hitting, or he's trying to take on this big role of being the guy who, that big trade piece that he's come into this team, which he's never really done before, let's be honest, right? At a trade deadline, he's taken on that kind of pressure. It can work the opposite way. If Gino's not his regular self, the good vibes and everything else, people feed off that, straight up feed off that. And I'm telling you, going off the road trip, off the homestand where there was, a lot of success, going into the road trip where you're out on an island on the East Coast, and if Gino's not his typical self, man, it has an impact on some of the younger players, or not all of them actually. And you're starting to see a little bit of him, a couple of funny little gestures to the camera and looking out the bullpen with the goggles or whatever. And that's a huge sign too. So he's very close. I'm really excited about what we're going to see on this homestand, but that starting pitching has just got to get back to what they're capable of doing.
Phillies are just a good team, man.
Yes.
I think you and other people probably have picked them to make it to the World Series. So do you use this as a measuring stick? What do you take from this? What do you take from this this series?
You have to, not just the team you're playing, the environment you're in, the fact that you've got, Ryan Kirkering, for example, comes in, and the crowd's going nuts. He's having a good year. Comes in that first game, and he gets it done. place goes nuts because it's that playoff feel, especially in Philadelphia, right? They're so used to it, and that's a hostile environment. Then he comes out the next night and you get him, and then all of a sudden you hear the boos and everything else. Well, that's the noises, sounds, environment, and the feel you're going to have in October. And so when you're watching a team like Philadelphia, you've got big pressure contracts in there, Trey Turner, Bryce Harper, and Kyle Schwarber's a free agent at the end of the year. You have guys who have been there before, been in the postseason, guys who have won in the postseason as well. So that's a team built, when you talk about a measuring stick, the team on the other side are looking at this saying, okay, as a group, let's stay healthy. We're going to the playoffs. And their brains are more hardwired to think, okay, October, not the, oh, hey, let's get through the month of September and feel really good about where we're at, and yay, we're going to go to the postseason and see what happens. They're already hardwired to deal with some of those little things I just talked about in the environments they're going to be in. And so, yes, it's a bit of a measuring stick. And you know what? The only way you're going to get that kind of experience as a young player is to be in that environment. That's exactly what they were in. A Gabe Spire coming in, getting some big outs, or a Carlos Vargas coming in and shutting down a really potent offense. Things like that, which are really, really big. Someone coming up and pinch hitting against a lefty, whatever it may be. Those little things matter. And so, again, that wasn't a good series. They got swept, but you walk away from that saying, okay, this is what we're going to get. We have to get our minds around. This is October-style baseball. What this environment we're in. Let's try and let's try and calibrate the way we think about ourselves in this light.
Speaking of a big opportunity here with this homestand, is also an opportunity for Cal to hit number 48, Ty Sal, before potentially even surpassing him. What did you see from him? I felt like he was heating up a bit over the road trip. Like initially we had some silver linings, and then the series against the Phillies just felt so horrible that we just kind of looked at negatives. But initially Cal was one of them, it felt like. What did you see?
Yeah, absolutely. And he had a drought there. I think it was, one home run in 10 games, a bit of swing and miss, way more aggressive. I'm trying to think what span that was. I just have my computer open in front of me. And you're starting to think, okay, well, this is coming out of the break. And you're starting to think, well, hang on, is he taking on, a different mindset here, which is not good, But I think with Cal, first of all, what really helps him is the guys around him too. Julio's starting to heat up, man, which is great. He's right behind him. Therefore, it's like, guess what? You can't pitch Cal that certain way because guess who's behind him? And then guess who's behind Julio, which is massive. We've already covered that. I think with Cal, it's going to be a little bit of this back and forth. I think it's a situation where he's going to end up with 50-something home runs, which is insane to think about. Absolutely insane. So I think that when you're looking at this from a, when you're in the Cal Raleigh party in regards to him and his agent and what he wants to accomplish and whatever, you've already done it. You've already gotten there. You're going to be fine. You take a breath, put all that aside. Him personally, and we know he talks about this all the time. What are some of the little things that he can do in this stretch run to get beyond this Astros team, which is so beatable right now, and they're laying out for you, by the way, which is amazing. You look at the numbers, their last little stretch here. It's insane. What a huge opportunity for him. What are some of the things that Cal can do, the little adjustments he can make? Because all that big stuff that everyone nationally talks about is going to happen. Like, he's already at that place. What are some of the little things that he can do? And so, I just think with him, he's going to be fine. There's going to be more consistency. You'd like to see him cut down some of the swing and miss or get some of these mistakes that he missed in that Phillies series. But again, guys, I'm telling you, these three lefties they ran into, man, toughest 3 games in a row, I think, all year long.
There's news that Emerson Hancock is exploring. He hit, 97.5 when it comes to his fastball. Do you think he has the physical and the mental makeup to be a reliever if called upon?
Yeah, I think he could fill a huge gap. I think if it's a situation, because you're starting to see now that Dan Wilson's starting to push the panic button a little bit more early. The leash is going to be shorter on starters. That you have a Emerson Hancock who is already pitching out of the stretch. He already knows what it's like to go max effort. It's a situation that I think he could really fill a void there to go, you know what, Emerson, we need you. We're down 2 runs right now. We've got enough offense to come back in this game. It's the 5th inning. I need you to cover the 5th and 6th. And then I need you to take 2 days off or a day off, and I need you to go do it again if need be. I think he feels a huge void and bridging that gap in that regard for that role. I think that's perfect for him.
He is Ryan Rowland-Smith, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, guys.
The Seahawks regular season is approaching, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to their home opener on September 7th against the 49ers. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, August 25th. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bubba and Stacy.
Headline number 1, ESPN's Brady Henderson is reporting fights between the Packers and Seahawks are nearing the double digits at a joint practice today. What's the real headline?
First, the Seahawks took a swing on Sam Darnold. Then they took a swing on Green Bay.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I'm with it. You're on the road, foreign territory. Things are getting chippy out there. And this is the most action the ones have gotten. That's why you have these joint practices. So you go out there, you set your offense up, defense up in certain situations, and you see how they respond. This is the first action the Green Bay Packers ones have gotten. That's why you're seeing all this. It's like they got all this tension, this pent up, and now they're letting it all go. This happens at these joint practices. I think they're more beneficial for the ones and twos, but you start to see stuff like this. So as long as, no one's getting jumped by themselves, if we got other Seahawks jerseys jumping in on the action, I'm okay with it. But at some point, Mike Macdonald's going to be like, all right, guys, come on. Like, this is enough. We can't get anything done because all you guys want to do is fight. But this is what happens. It will never end. As long as you have these joint practices, it's going down. So let's get used to it. But at some point, you got to talk to your guys and say, look, we got 5 reps in 15 minutes because of this fight.
Mm-hmm.
We need to hit a certain amount of reps so we can work on some things.
What is it about joint practices that brings this out? Is it just like, I don't know this person and this week? Because you don't see a ton of fights in games.
Nah, because there's no fines or nothing.
Yeah.
Like you sock somebody in a game, you might get a $20,000 penalty or fine. It's not like that in joint practices, and these veterans understand that. And it's just, I'm telling you, you've been playing against the same guys every single day.
Mm-hmm.
You can't let out any frustration. It gets to you. It can be easy, or it is easy for people just to look at and be like, calm down, what are you doing? You want this man to be borderline psychopath on a football field, and you're telling him to calm down. There's a point where it's a bit too much, but as long as there are helmets and you're driving another person into the ground, this is going to happen.
What's next?
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 2, Sean McDermott told reporters Josh Allen will not play in Saturday's preseason finale. This is the first time Josh Allen will not play in the preseason. What's the real headline?
Wow. You win 1 MVP award, and suddenly you're too good for the preseason.
Precisely. Never play in the preseason game again, Josh. Don't do it. Lamar,
that actually came with the award.
Yeah, it came with it.
It's just a get out of preseason free card for every single game ever.
Hey, I'm out, guys. I'm good. I have no problem with this. Josh has proven he can play in this league. His MVP, almost been to a couple Super Bowls. And there's 5 guys in this league, 5 or 6 guys to where they don't need the preseason like that. And apparently Aaron Rodgers is one of them too. He hasn't played in a preseason game, right? DK Metcalf hasn't played in a preseason game either. Now that is a bit interesting. But Josh Allen, being with the same organization for 7-8 years at this point, winning an MVP, he is just fine. He knows his offense. He's good to go. Have a seat. You and wifey, have a cocktail. Just chill.
Our bet on Aaron Rodgers versus Russell Wilson aside, do you anticipate Aaron Rodgers? This is only related to the Aaron Rodgers comment you just made, not to the actual headline about Josh Allen. Do you think Aaron Rodgers will legitimately be better with the Steelers than he was with New York?
Yeah, I do.
I do too.
I do.
And I don't know why I think
But
that.
I am a bit more optimistic about Russell Wilson and the Giants, though. I think the Giants will be a better
And
team
my
than we
Giants?
think. Your Giants. Your New York football Giants.
My New York football Giants.
I think they will be better than I think, but I also think that Aaron Rodgers will be better than what people think.
I mean, I think, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's I've been like brainwashed after reading some more entertaining coverage about Aaron Rodgers. Like, as opposed to this kind of antagonistic version of himself, it's a version that isn't as annoying. I kind of like him and DK Metcalf. I don't know. you're not going anywhere in the AFC.
Nah.
I mean, speaking of MVP Josh Allen, you got 3 MVPs at those top 3 spots and someone else, Joe Burrow, that could have made a case for MVP.
Yeah.
The talent's just too rich. It's too insane. But I think they're going to be better than people think.
He's one of the best bridge quarterbacks of all time. With the Jets, they gave him too much power. They allowed him to be the coach, the GM, and all that good stuff. He's experimented. Okay, now just be a quarterback. And I think that he's probably in a good place. He doesn't have to worry about all that other stuff because there is a blueprint that has worked for so long here. You just fall in line and do your thing. So I think they will be better, but I'm with you. They're not going to go to a conference championship. They're not going to win their division. They'll be 3rd in the division and maybe sneak in the playoffs, into the playoffs, excuse me.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 3, Emerson Hancock used as a reliever last night for the first time in his career. He touched 97 on the radar gun. What's the real headline?
Channeling my best Brian Windhorst impersonation. What's going on in Tacoma?
Said we need some help. You know what this reminds me of? Against UCLA. My junior year, we're warming up to play UCLA, and our punter goes down. And our coach literally walks through the locker room and says, "Can anybody punt?" And I raised my hand and said, "I can punt." So I went out there and I punted because I've done it in high school, right? So that's what they're doing. They're
Did
like,
you do a good job?
Yeah, I did a pretty good job. None were blocked.
Yeah.
None were returned. It was all good. That's essentially what's happening here. They're looking at the bullpen and saying, we don't trust any of these guys right now. Who else we got? We got a guy who has some MLB experience already. He's got some gas on that fastball. If he develops a secondary pitch, all you need is 1 or 2 pitches. Reliever, 1 or 2, focus on those pitches and get us in and out. That's why Munoz is so good because he can touch 100, Brash can touch 100, then they hit you with that second pitch. That's all he needs. He has the stuff. Just ask Ryan that question. He believes he has the stuff. Mentally, it's a bit different. And when your starters aren't going as deep as you're used to seeing, a guy like Emerson Hancock can come out and give you 3 or 4. He's like, all right, I got you. So I like the move, and you got to do something. You can't sit still.
Speaking of Brian, a great interview with Brian Rowland-Smith, who just joined us. We started by asking him about the pitching, and there was really awesome insight there. You can go back and listen to the Bump and Stacy podcast for it. But I was struck by his comments about Gino Suarez and feeling really, really encouraged about what he saw. Hearing, I think Gino's on the verge, right on the cusp of really breaking out. I mean, that's the antidote that I needed. That right there is like the medication that I was happy to receive after a road trip that made me sick to my stomach.
And I'm right there with him. I mean, we started the show talking about it, and we're concerned about him, but there are some numbers that support that he could be doing his thing. His last 7 days is batting 286, on base is 310, slugging 706. He's got 4 hits against Philly, a touchdown, a home run, 2 extra base hits, 3 RBIs. There's something there, but he's got to put together another series and stack them. But I feel better about him today than I did last week.
Hear me out. Cal and Gino, Homer, Friday. Believable or way too optimistic?
No,
Curtis, believable?
Yeah, I'm with it.
I think it's believable, right?
Sure.
Yeah. Anything is possible.
We did it!
We did it! We did it! Ryan Divish is going to join us at 1, so we are getting back to the Mariners, talking Seahawks at 12:45, wondering whether or not we're underrating this team. I don't think we've even been negative, but maybe we are underrating them. First, we're taking a look around the NFL, a crazy story coming out of Kansas City. That's next.
I might be in love with Clint Kubiak.
Oh.
Brock and Salk. I did not think I was going to say this at any point, let alone after a second preseason game.
It was just the orchestration of it all, too, wasn't it? It was a symphony of destruction.
I got multiple highlights here that start with Steve Rabel saying,
IBAX behind Drew.
IBAX. And that's not one word. That's not like IBAX or anything like that. Or like, what are those animals, the ibex?
IBAX.
Brock and Salk. Morning 6 to 10 on Seattle Sports.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit revivemenshealth.com.
Step into automotive history at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Explore 300 incredible cars and 100 years of heritage. Enjoy thrilling racing simulators and the cafe. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org.
Stacy here. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, and when they resell it, they share half their profit with you. That's right. Sell your car to Wayscar Ford, Isuzu, and Auburn. They'll pay you today for your car, and once they resell it, they'll share half their profit with you. WayscarFord.com.
Hi, it's me, Flo, here to tell you that with the Progressive Home and Auto Bundle, you get 24/7 protection, so you're covered no matter where the day takes you.
Even I added too much water to the pizza dough day?
Yep.
How about getting a call from my daughter to pick her up at the airport because her boyfriend is unreliable day?
Especially that day.
What about finding out that one of my pipes suddenly burst in my basement day?
Progressive has every day covered 24/7 with the Home and Auto Bundle. Also, you have a lot of bad days.
Oh no, that was all the same day.
At least you're covered with Progressive.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states.
If you love to travel, Capital One has a rewards credit card that's perfect for you. With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy. Plus, you get premium benefits at a collection of luxury hotels when you book on Capital One Travel. And with Venture X, you get access to over 1,000 airport lounges worldwide. Open up a world of travel possibilities with the Capital One Venture X card. What's in your wallet?
Terms apply. Lounge access is subject to change. See CapitalOne.com for details.
Mariners fans, it's time to bring the noise to T-Mobile Park. This lineup is loaded up and locked in. From every moonshot.
Now Raleigh obliterates this. How far? Way back there.
To every how in the world did he catch that moment?
And Julio makes the catch. No fly zone in full effect.
Be here as the squad shuts the door and lights the W.
Munoz looking for the final out. Here's the stretch, and the strike three called, and the ball game is over.
This is our house.
They're going crazy here at T-Mobile Park.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
Be here for the stretch run at T-Mobile Park. The Mariners are back in town starting tomorrow for a 6-game homestand against the A's and Padres. Plus, don't miss marquee interleague matchups against the Cardinals September 8th to 10th and the Dodgers September 26th to 28th. Get your tickets today at mariners.com.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package, or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy
Weekdays 10 to 2.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
A crazy story out of Kansas City. Andy Reid, this is not an exaggeration, was nearly shot in his office at Chiefs headquarters. This was back in May of 2024. ESPN has the report about a bullet fired into his office. It penetrated the glass in the practice facility office that Andy Reid works in while he was working alone there last year. He was unharmed, obviously. But according to the report, the shot was fired from outside the facility in Kansas City, went through the glass, lodged into a wall about 15 feet away from where he was sitting shortly after midnight.
Who tripping on Andy Reid?
I mean, it was probably a stray bullet.
I hope so. I'm like, my man is fourth all
mad
time.
over those 2 losses?
Yeah, I'm like, you can't win them all.
How dare you?
Can't win them all.
No,
that's scary, man. If I'm Andy Reid,
that's terrifying.
I'm putting up some bulletproof windows right now, saying just in case. It's probably I don't know where their facility is, but I've been to Missouri.
Yeah.
And, maybe some hunting grounds around there or something. Who knows what's going on? I feel like Missouri is a place where people carry a gun rack in the back of their truck.
I could see that. To your point, I don't think it's like, random crazy drive-by. Like, most practice facilities are not in metropolitan areas.
No.
Like, the Seahawks is like off of exit 7.
Yeah, but ain't nobody shooting
no one's
like
there.
that in Renton.
Yeah, there's a McDonald's and a Starbucks and Dino's. That's it. Cam Ward and Jeffrey Simmons had a dust-up at Titans practice earlier this week. Ward was asked what he learned in that moment.
Did I learn anything from it? Jeff Strong.
It's another S.
100. You ever, you probably haven't because you never played like a physical sport.
No. Well, first of all, swim is very physical, and I dedicated 4 years of my life.
Contact with another human being sport.
Yeah, no.
When you go up against someone and you feel just how much stronger they are than you, it's alarming. They make human beings that much stronger. Like, I know he's bigger than me, but he just tosses me around. Cushing, I will never forget. Strongest human being I've ever tried to block in my life. There was a safety from Oregon State. Curtis, you might know him. Oregon State safety played for Tampa. Last name started with a Z.
Oh,
big.
Oh, this
big
freak
old
is
white
gonna
boy.
get it.
Big old white boy. This dude had 4 arms the size of my
driving him
thighs.
crazy.
Played for Tampa, but Oregon State. And I remember I went to stiff arm him, and the way he just threw my hand down and then sit over. Don't you ever try to stiff arm me? I go.
You're like, okay.
I won't. I got to go around you now
My
because
mistake.
you are clearly stronger. I imagine that's something the way Cam Ward felt like. Dang, that dude is just a lot stronger than I am.
Did you ever play against anyone that actually shocked you? Like, it's a guy that you thought, like, I got this guy.
And then he got me?
And then he got you.
No, because I'm typically one of the smaller guys on the football field.
Yeah.
I've shocked myself to whereas, okay, I blocked him better than I thought I was going to. But nah, if
was
I
it
looked at you,
Sabby Piscatelli?
Yes, Piscatelli, yes.
He's now a wrestler.
Is
He's
he?
a pro wrestler.
Yes. This dude was the strongest safety
for a rematch.
I've ever gone up against, man. It was
Tino
it was alarming.
Sabatelli is his wrestling name.
Wait, Curtis, what's his Twitter account? I got to tweet at him right now and say Michael Bumpus wants a rematch.
I don't know his. Let's see. Here.
Bump, can I do that?
Go for it.
Okay, wait. Yeah, tell me his Twitter account. Let's.
Trying to find it here, but
do it strong.
I don't even know if he's on Twitter.
Oh no! What are you?
He's since been married to other professional wrestler,
Oh,
Mandy
congratulations!
Rose.
I'm gonna say first of all, congrats on the wedding. Secondly, Bump wants a rematch.
Oh, he was released from his WWE contract in 2021, so
Devastating.
Maybe he's on the independent circuit.
Maybe we
now.
can organize something in the parking lot.
Piscatelli, that dude was for real. He was for real.
He played 6 years in the league.
Yeah, he was legit, man.
Next story, as you can probably imagine, Myles Garrett wasn't in the mood to talk about the 7th speeding ticket he's received since the start of his NFL career.
I'd honestly rather talk about football on this team than anything I'm doing off field other than the back to school, event that I did the other day.
But still, I mean, people want to know about that.
People want to know a lot of things, but I try to keep my personal life personal. I'd rather focus on this team when I can.
I don't know where I fall on this one because personally, how I feel about it, when players sometimes refuse to answer questions, it's like, but you're a celebrity. You are subject to questions, and when you're doing something like it's not, there are questions that are inappropriate, that are rude to pry, that are absolutely personal, where it's none of your business, and where a player can say, I don't want to talk about it, next question, perfectly fine. However, 7 speeding tickets is egregious. It's also not like 7 DUIs.
Yeah.
So I'm, you know what I mean? There's a line where I'm like, well, I mean,
I think this is what's
anything.
happening with Myles Garrett. He's been just loved by the media and by the public. Everyone talks about how smart he is. He's clearly one of the best defensive linemen in the game, and he's uncomfortable talking about some of his flaws because you're typically talking about just how great he is and how the Browns are lucky to have him. So now he's in a position where he's never really been in before, even though he's at 7 speeding tickets. So that's what that is. He just doesn't know how to handle this because he's never been in this situation before. But he should just be like, look, I made a mistake. I clearly have to watch the speed limit and chill a little bit, and it'll be over. But because he handled it the way he did, we're going to keep talking about it. So it's just a foreign place for him.
I do think that there are things. In his case, I might actually side with him on this one. I do think that there are times where it's like, let's say you're getting in serious trouble with the law. It's now a story that you've made a story. There are times when it's like, well, of course someone's asking you because you may not be available in a game. So they're asking you like, hey, what's going on with this? Like, it's perfectly reasonable for someone to ask like, hey, have you heard from the league whether you're being suspended? In this case, it's not as serious.
Yeah.
So I think I might actually kind of get where he's coming from. Next up. Speaking of Cleveland, Shedeur Sanders, dealing with that oblique injury, is feeling better and should play on Saturday. He was also asked about his thoughts on Dylan Gabriel's entertainer versus competitors comment.
Honestly, I don't even think about nothing. I don't think about anything. If it's not words or anything, at this point, I can't do anything to me. I know, the God put the ability and the power within me to not even think about nobody else's comments, not care. It is what it is. I spoke with him. He said, nah, bro, that wasn't. He said, that wasn't. He told me on the plane. He came up. He was like, nah, bro, that wasn't at you. I see how they trying to spin. I'm like, oh, all right. I'm not tripping, regardless of whatever it was. Nobody's words or anything affects me.
I actually believe him.
I do believe him. He has to be that way, and he's been taught to be that way. Shedeur Sanders has been molded for this moment his whole life. Here's what's also true. Dylan Gabriel was talking about Shedeur Sanders entertaining.
You think he was? I don't think he was. I don't.
Give me more context then. Why else would you put that out there?
Because he was talking about like the quarterback battle in general, and it's like, well, it's your guys' job to entertain. It's our job to compete. That's how I did not think he was talking about Shedeur when I heard it.
That's
too bold. That's too. I don't think Dylan's brave enough. I don't think he's bold enough.
You can think that. I'll think the complete opposite.
Shedeur's on the sideline with him.
That's on his mind. He's competing with him.
And you would say that though?
Check this out. I'll tell you. I'll give you a pure example. A good example, right?
Okay.
Me and this dude are fighting for the football team.
Sure.
I'm not gonna say his name. We're at the last ones that are probably gonna get cut. It's out of me and him, and he's doing everything to get in my head. I'm doing everything to get in his head. Subtle things. We walk in, and it was a cut that just happened. He goes, "Oh, you're still here?"
Ooh.
And I go, "You won't be." And then we move along.
Oh my God, I love
this stuff goes down. It ain't we're in the same room together. Well, the quarterback, Dylan Gabriel, knows that if Shedeur Sanders outshines him, he's not going to be on this roster. He's probably going to be on the roster. But he gets,
reporter?
Yeah, subconsciously, it's in his head.
You know how careful quarterbacks have to be? Now, it's one thing. I don't think they're friends. I don't think they like each other. I don't think they need to like each other. That was a crazy interaction that you had.
I'm telling you, it goes down.
To a reporter?
Yeah, AC slipped up. He slipped up. I'm on the side. Shedeur's on his mind so much that he slipped up in an interview. He's a human. Mistakes happen. We give all these other people benefit of the doubts, and maybe he was feeling this, or this is what he saw. He slipped up. I'm telling you, that's why he went up Shedeur too and said, "Oh man, my bad."
I remain mostly unconvinced, but he is a duck.
I'm on it.
Shifty little.
It was an accident.
Former Husky receiver and 2024 Patriots second-round pick Jalen Polk will miss the 2025 season after suffering a shoulder injury that will require surgery. I feel horrible for him. Patriots in an interesting situation as a team as a whole. I would have loved to see Polk get time to work. Season-ending surgery for anyone is always really upsetting to hear about. They've got a really interesting group of players where I truly don't know what to expect from the Patriots this year. I'm not expecting a Super Bowl team, and I'm not expecting them to be the worst team in football, but that leaves a lot of room.
Look, I don't know Polk personally. Covered him with the Pac-12 Network, CW. Good receiver. This is the truth about the NFL and trying to make this team. You know what that just did? Boosted my dude, Efton Chisholm, III's chances of making the 53. So Chisholm, go take advantage of your opportunities. I'm sorry for Polk. This is what happens all the time. I got my chance because somebody got hurt. It's going to benefit Efton Chisholm. So I feel bad for Polk. Chisholm, go to work.
All right. Do we have? Yeah, let's do this last one quickly here. No, probably not a surprise, but Matthew Stafford will not travel with the Rams to their final preseason game in Cleveland despite returning to practice this week. Are you taking anything from that at all, or is it just a non-story to you?
He's a veteran. He's proven.
Okay.
He's got grays in his beard.
Fair.
He can stay at home and just chill.
Are we underrating the Seahawks? Coming up next.
I back. It's the final test. Tonight, Charbonnet is going to rip off a big run before the real deal.
You kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Jobs are on the line.
You know, who's on the initial 53, who's on the initial practice squad.
It's off to historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay for the preseason finale. Seahawks, Packers, Saturday. Pre-game at 11 a.m. with Steve Rabel on the call. Touchdown, Seahawks! Kickoff at 1 p.m.
on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on riversideroofingllc.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to riversideroofingllc.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer. Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times. Right. So we shouldn't get the parachute pants? These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Good morning, Doctor.
Doctor?
Hi, Doctor.
Doctor?
Dr. Jackson's practice is growing.
What do you mean we're still short-staffed?
He needs a good patient doctor.
How do we not have enough doctors to doctor all these patients?
And he doesn't have the patience to sift through hundreds of resumes.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. When you sponsor a job on Indeed, it's easier for talented candidates to find it, which makes it easier for you to hire them. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The John Deere Gator XUV lets you cut, pack, drive, scout, weld, stack, feed, pull, load, tow, spray, and haul, all in a single day. Because with the highest cargo box volume in its class, customizable features, and a towing capacity of up to 4,000 pounds, it gets the job done. You just have to get in the seat. Learn more at your John Deere dealer or visit johndeere.com/Gator XUV.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks season opener on Sunday, September 7th. Open the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds of winning 4 tickets to the Seahawks season opener. Do it every day, August 19th through August 25th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877-CARS for kids. K-A-R-S, Cars for Kids. 1-877-CARS for Kids. Donate your.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Are you frustrated with those trendy weight loss shots and not getting the long-term results you really want? This is Dr. Ryan Coogan with Eastside Weight Loss, and whether you've hit a plateau, can't handle the side effects, or watch the pounds creep back after stopping, there's a better way. Our program has helped over 4,000 people lose up to 10 to 20% of their body weight in just 8 weeks without expensive injections or uncomfortable side effects. Our doctor-developed program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast. Ready for real lasting results? Visit eastsideweightlossclinic.com now to schedule your free consultation.
Did he just say Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is half the cost and works twice as fast as weight loss injections? Well, if that's not reason enough, you don't risk the scary side effects or gaining the weight back as soon as you stop. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic is natural, and it works.
Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in a month or two, and you can do our program remotely from anywhere you live. Schedule your free consultation at eastsideweightlossclinic.com. That's eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy
Weekdays 10 to 2.
on Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
All right, Ryan Divish joining us in 15 to talk Mariners. Before we get to that, are we underrating the Seahawks? We talked about this a little bit earlier in the show when at 10:30 we discussed Sheil Kapadia of The Ringer having the Seahawks as his number one defense entering the season. Colin Cowherd said that he thinks the Seahawks are one of the top rosters, and by that I mean like 5, 6, 7 in the NFL.
Sam Darnold and the Seahawks, yeah, they looked really, really good. I just think John Schneider, the GM, they've had 3 straight back-to-back-to-back great drafts. They're just too good. If Jackson Smith and Jigba, the Ohio State Buckeye, if he can become a number one, and they think he is, I don't think they have a unit that's a problem. This Gray Zabel, this offensive lineman they got, oh my God, he's moving Chris Jones around like he's a loaf of bread. So Seattle, Darnold look comfortable. I think when you watch the Seahawks, they are a top 5 or 6 roster. I really believe that.
Schneider, not Snyder, but
Schneider.
Does he have a fair point about the Seahawks having a top 5, 6 roster in the NFL? Nor do many people I know, have not talked about the Seahawks that way. It's been like, oh, the defense could be really good. We'll see what the offense is. They should compete. They should get to the playoffs. They should try to push for it. But like, by no means have they been talked about, in my opinion, as a top 5 or 6 roster.
Going into the season, I can't say that. Do that potential, maybe.
Why
top
can't
5
you?
roster random, because I look at that teams and I think right now on paper, other teams are better. Rams have a better roster on paper to me. The Lions have a better one. Baltimore has a better one. Buffalo has a better one. Kansas City has a better one. Philly has a better one. That's 5 right there, 5 or 6 right there. So, no, I don't think they have top 5 potential, I think. But we still ain't seen live bullets yet. It ain't real yet. We've gone, a preseason game where we saw one offensive drive by the ones, and it looked great. I like what they're doing. We've seen the defense. Like, Imawari played 6 snaps last game. There's no proof yet of this. I think they are talented. I think they have the potential, but we've seen all these other teams with these players on their team go out there and ball out and look like a top 5 roster when it comes to talent. I think they can get there, but the process might take a while. It might take 4 or 5 weeks before everything's clicking, people understand their roles, and they're making plays. They feel free to make plays. They can still be winning ball games and doing that. But until, man, you can put up some numbers and put a resume together like some of these other teams have, no, I'm not ready to say that. They have potential to be, but not right now.
I agree with you. And I think there's also 2 different conversations. There's a conversation about whether the Seahawks have an incredibly underrated roster and should be seen as having a top 5, 6 roster. Then there's a conversation about whether the Seahawks could have a much better season than we think. I think that's 2 separate things, because what I think, the way my gut feels about this team, is that the second thing could be more true than the first. The Seahawks could have a much better season than people anticipate, could be a much cooler story than people anticipate, or could even surprise people, but it will be by virtue of being bigger than the sum of their parts. It'll be by virtue of having a more experienced play caller at offense, by having Mike Macdonald and his brilliant scheme, by kind of taking that defense to the next level and growing there, by having good leadership. You know what I mean? It's going to be like this isn't Philly. This isn't this incredibly stacked, roster full of a couple first-team All-Pros, full of a first-team All-Pro and some Pro Bowlers. This is going to be a team with, good players.
Well, they got a couple first-team All-Pros, don't they?
Seattle?
I thought you said Philly.
Philly.
I thought you comparing them
well,
to
yeah,
Philly.
I was just saying how rare that actually is. So then I corrected to this isn't a team that's going to be they've got the best edge rusher in the game and then they've got a top 2 receiver unit. This is going to be a team that has some flaws, but I think as a whole could surprise people because of all the other things they have there.
Yeah.
Good coaching and good scheme.
Yeah, it's gonna the village. The village could be on point, but the individuals aren't there quite yet. If we just go off of PFF's ranking, take what you want with it. I don't know how they come up with these numbers. J Love is the 10th best safety in the league. You have Spoon. Did he crack top 10? He was 9.
Spoon, I think there
Leo.
were 3 total. Leo and Julian.
So there is potential. They got some talent there, but I think the way a team is constructed and the way they play as a whole elevates that talent, right? If Leo is getting help from the edge, from the backers, he can play more free. He plays better. If J Love is allowed to just stay back and roam and freelance, do what he does because the defensive line is playing well, your corners are locking up, now you're not stressed out, you can go out there and play some better ball. So it's a crescendo we're going to see with this team. It's going to be a steady climb.
Yeah.
Going into the season, they've done nothing to deserve the top 5 roster talent. They can be, though. I think they have the potential, but I ain't giving it to them.
Joe in Bellevue says defense was good to great-ish at the end of last season. I actually think the defense was closer to great-ish than good at the end of the season. They were so good from week basically 9-ish onward. Their bye was the middle of the season. That it ended up lifting the entire season stats, even though in the first couple weeks, not 1 and 2, but kind of in that stretch where they really struggled after those first 3 games, the defense put up awful numbers. The run defense suddenly looked like it was a problem again. That's how good they were in the second half of the season. I think, though, that all of my questions are on offense.
Yeah.
I have maybe some depth concerns, but I don't know who Sam Darnold is as a quarterback over, multiple seasons. I know who he was last year. I don't know that I can trust that version of him. That's ultimately what I settle on. And your offensive line has a lot to prove.
Going back to your defense towards the end of the year. Overall, yards per game, they were the 6th best defense the last 3 games of the year. Against the run, they were the 5th best defense the last 3 games of the year. And against the passer, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9th best over the last 3 games of the year. So they were doing some things. I mean, if you look at overall, those numbers are going to be skewed a little bit, but they were finding themselves. And did they get better on defense? I think they did. I think you got better with Imawari. I think there's going to be a natural progression in Spoon. Kobe coming in and knowing that he's the guy back there. He's going to play at a different level. Ernest having a full year with this. Tyrese having a full year with this team. Byron Murphy making the leap. There's an argument to throw it out there and think that this defense can be a top 5, which I think elevates everyone's expectations. Because I think you're looking at the defense, in my opinion, I would look at the defense and say that's the reason why people are thinking this is a top 5 roster. Sam has to prove it. Can JSN be number 1? Is Ken Walker going to be healthy? If Ken Walker ain't healthy, then Zach Charbonnet ain't going to be the guy. What about this offensive line? I got so many questions with his offense. That's what's kind of holding me back.
Yeah.
The defense is going to be fine, I think. It's the offense that makes me think we got to pump the brakes on, okay, a top 5 roster when it comes to talent. Talent still has to go out there and perform, and there's not enough days or years stacked with this roster as a whole to make me jump into that conversation.
That being said, I can't believe that already we're coming up on the preseason finale on Saturday, and then you jump right into the preseason after, obviously, a little bit of wait to get to September, but still, it's here. So we're going to get a look at them. And I love that week 1 is going to be against the 49ers because as down as some people might be on San Francisco in what to them looks like a rebuild, I think it's still going to be a really, really tough task. All right, coming up next, Ryan Divish.
This place is electric. When we get crowds like this, it's special.
There's something special happening in Soto.
It's amazing getting to, play in front of a sold-out crowd.
The roar coming from the corner of Edgar and Dave is different.
J.P. Crawford with a walk-off 2-run home run.
Tomorrow night, the Mariners return home for a huge 6-game set with the first of 3 against the A's. First pitch at 7:10. The push to the playoffs lives on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Luxury has arrived at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. The hotel is open and you can book now at snocasino.com. The destination spa, the expanded non-smoking gaming floor, the big 2,000-seat entertainment space and convention center, and the new restaurants, food venues as well. Effortless style and the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com to book. Seattle's closest is now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
If you've been considering upgrading your siding, now is the perfect time. Hi, I'm Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors. In the Pacific Northwest, moisture is the enemy. Old failing siding leads to hidden water damage, rot, and mold. State Roofing and Exteriors is a James Hardy preferred contractor with over 55 years of siding expertise. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com to schedule your siding inspection today. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
State Roofing, the best roof you'll ever need.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the luxe staples insiders swear by, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
Are you having trouble hearing? Hearing loss can devastate the quality of your life. Now, there's an affordable fix for you or your loved one. Rated the best hearing aids of 2025 by Forbes Health, Audion Hearing has the highest quality hearing aids at the lowest prices, starting at just $98 a pair.
I actually like them better than my old $5,000 hearing aid.
I could not believe how my hearing and life changed.
Join over 1 million happy customers by going to audionhearing.com. That's AUDIEN hearing.com.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed all in. Plus get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of.
JP Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners dropped their series finale yesterday, and with that, a horrible road trip is over. Seattle went 2-7. Will get a much-needed off day today. They'll open a series against the A's tomorrow. The Packers are hosting the Seahawks for a joint practice today in Green Bay. From ESPN's Brady Henderson, things were getting chippy between the Seahawks offense and Packers defense. Apparently, Brady says, Packers cornerback Kamal Hadden got into it with Jake Bobo after a big play, and then Ken Walker took exception and started shouting back. The two teams face off Saturday for their preseason finale.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Seattle Times' Ryan Divish joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Ryan, you broke the news about Victor Robles' suspension. What was your reaction to the suspension itself being 10 games, and where do the Mariners go from here?
I actually thought that's what it was going to be, about 10 games. Like just kind of looking at some of the other stuff and the idea of throwing a bat. Like I knew that they would try and make sure that it was, I wouldn't say make an example, but that it was highly punitive just because of that aspect of it. So I wasn't surprised about the 10 games, and I figured like he would appeal it and they'll probably go down to about 8. But you know, where the Mariners go, it's complicated because I didn't know the rules, honestly, with Robles being on a major league player on a rehab assignment, which is technically means you're on loan, whether they would make him serve it at the major league or the minor league level. But you know, I was told they would be at the major league level, and it complicates some things a little bit just because like the Mariners had it all kind of planned out, I think, where he would come back right around 1st of September when the rosters expand, maybe a little bit before that, and be a presence on their team. And now that's all kind of shifted because he has to be out a certain number of games.
Do you remember anything like that happening before? A player getting that upset? And then I read his apology, and obviously he was going through some things emotionally, but kind of a weird reaction.
Yeah, you don't do that. I covered Richie Sexson throwing his helmet at a pitcher one time. I think he got 5 games for that. But back in, I don't know, many years ago, Delman Young, who was the top prospect in all of baseball at one point, got so upset at an umpire, he went back to the dugout and threw his bat from the dugout towards home plate, and it hit the umpire, and he got 50 games.
Oh, gosh.
Like if Robles, so if Robles, I mean, if he throws that bat and it hits anybody on the team, on the opposing team, you know, we're probably looking at 15 games or 20 games. So, I mean, I think, you know, fans should be thankful that it didn't hit anybody. I know there are some fans trying to justify it. Well, he got hit 5 times, and so he should be upset. If you go back and watch all the games, he swung at 2 of the times he got hit with a pitch. Technically, he got hit by a pitch on the one that he got ejected on. They called it a foul ball. I couldn't tell if it really hit the bat or not, but it hit him in the chest. Robles, if you watch how he swings, he stands close to the plate, takes away the inner half, and he dives out at pitches. So he tends to get hit a lot. If you recall, he got hit a bunch last year. So, I mean, you know, you hit that way, you're going to get hit. Joey Estes, who hit him twice in the series, doesn't have the best command in the world. I don't think it was on purpose, because he was kind of all over the place anyways. But yeah, I mean, it's fair to be upset that you get hit a bunch and everything like that. But you know, it's part of the game. And you know, once you throw a bat, that's a different thing. Like if he hits a player when he throws the bat, you know, that player rightfully, at least I was talking to some people in MLB, could have pressed charges against him. Yeah. If he gets hit, if opposing player gets hit with a bat. So, yeah, I know that, you know, and, you know, judging fan reaction based on my Twitter mentions is never a good thing, because that's, you know.
You're going to get very measured responses there.
Yeah, that's the lunatic fringe we're talking about right there. But no, I just think, you know, once you throw a bat, you know, and the bat is different than the helmet, the bat is, you know, often construed as a weapon, you know, you're in trouble. And I think the Mariners were pretty stunned. They're not pleased about what happened. I think they're thankful that nobody got hurt and nothing worse came out of it. But at the same time, you know, they had planned out a way to get, you know, with rosters expansion and everything else, get him back, get him playing. And now all of a sudden he can't. I mean, he's playing right now because he's appealing the suspension. But once they hear his appeal and then they make a decision on his appeal, if they decide to reduce it to 8 games or something, then once that happens, he can no longer play on his rehab assignment. He is done, and then he has to sit and wait. He can't play in any sanctioned games. He could probably play in an inter-squad scrimmage or something like that down in Arizona, or, you know, do live BPs in Seattle, but he is not allowed to play in a sanctioned game until his suspension is served. And so that kind of disrupts his plan to return, disrupts the Mariners' plans. It's all kind of not ideal. And once the Mariners bring him back, they cannot fill his roster spot.
It's certainly not ideal. You're right. Your colleague, Mike Varell, made a really great point in his most recent column about this, saying, like, look, one thing to consider is ultimately it's not up to Robles to make or break your season. It's up to all the pieces that have been here for, 5 months without him. And I think for me, there's not much more that Cal could do. There's not much more that you could ask a couple guys to do. But I'm looking at the pitching and I'm going, all these guys are here. All these guys are healthy. It just hasn't been what it was last year. Maybe that ends up being a season we never see again. But that difference is starkly obvious when they're on the road. A, what do you think contributes to some of those home road splits when it comes to the starters? And B, what are you seeing as the biggest difference between pitching last year and this year for the starters?
Yeah, well, I think some of the pitching is affected by that. Mariners haven't played very well either overall, free bases, and the Mariners pitchers are responsible for some of them. Like, Bryce mentioned the other day, gives up the 3 stolen bases, and they all hurt, when in that game. Looking at the starters, Logan specifically and George specifically, they just don't seem to have maybe the crisp command that they had a year ago. And in a way, you kind of sort of expect it because they threw more innings than they ever have before in their lives last year. And so you're seeing maybe the residual effect. Logan the command isn't there. The feel on some of his pitches isn't there. He missed 6 weeks with the forearm strain. So you're not going to be like pinpoint. But when he does have better command, like the start at home where he only gets through 5 on 90 some pitches, he just, they're fouling off a ton of pitches when he is in the strike zone. He's not getting the swings and misses per se when he wants to put them away, or it takes multiple pitches. He hasn't been as efficient. He'll get his strikeouts, but it's a 7-pitch strikeout versus maybe a 4-pitch strikeout, or even just some soft contact. Kirby, I think we've seen, I thought for the most part, has been better. Didn't look great the other day. Surroundings, everything else, probably not ideal for George. I mean, I joke that George being around a bunch of screaming kids is probably not his ideal scenario for success. But, he hasn't had the command. Like, we're seeing walks from him, which I don't think is the worst thing in the world, because he's trying to bury his breaking ball a little bit more and get it out of the zone and get some swing to miss. But sometimes when he does that, it's a ball right out of his hand. Like, they can recognize it's not strike to ball, it's just ball way outside. And I think that's been a problem as well, too, for him. And he's put runners on base in certain situations. He just hasn't been able to finish guys maybe the way he's wanted to. So with those two, with Castillo, I figured he was just due for maybe one of the clunker starts. You know, he had been pretty good or pretty solid for most of the season, but you know, Baltimore really kind of grinded him out and forced him back into the zone and you know, hit him hard. So I think the regression was somewhat expected because they were so unbelievably good last year. But at the same time, they're certainly not, you know, especially with Logan and George, they're not pitching to maybe the capabilities that they're used to. And I think it's frustrating for both of them. You can hear it in their voices when they talk post game.
Hey, what's more concerning for you at this point? The pitchers, the way they've been performing, or just the K rate right now for these guys, especially the last 3 games?
Yeah, I mean, the strikeout rate, but like, you know, that's what Christopher Sanchez does. He strikes people out. He's so kind of unpredictable with how he does stuff. And they've faced some pretty decent pitching on this road trip. You know, like they don't love hitting spin. And the kid from the Mets, the prospect, he could really throw a slider and he was able to spot it. And you kind of see the Mariners struggles with that. Yeah, I just don't think they have played well at any point. And then this is a team too. Sometimes, you know, they were down 4 and 5 runs. That's a hard thing to come back from. You know, you can have the Dan Wilson mentality of, you know, battle till the end and never quit and everything. But the reality is you get down that early, you get such poor starts from your starters. You can have that mindset all you want. The likelihood that it's going to happen is different. And honestly, you know, you can't always play that way. Like the other day we saw them push Legumina to a second inning. I think it's partially because, like, you know, they're down enough where they're thinking, okay, well, are we really going to come back from this? Yeah, we played till the end, but we need to steal one more inning from this guy to get through. And it blew up on him. I think that's one thing we're seeing sometimes in these games a little bit is Dan is trying to steal an inning or even 2 outs or an out, one more out from a middle reliever who's not as good as his leverage guys. And it's come back to bite him in the ass a couple of times just because, like, you know, you're running the risk. These guys don't strike out very many guys, you know, and they have a tendency to put guys on. Vargas, Legumina, Coar, they give up home runs, and they put guys on with walks, and then they give up home runs, and that's a bad combination.
What's your overall evaluation of Dan's first season here?
I don't know. I mean, like, Dan, in a lot of ways, I think is still feeling it out. You can play in the major leagues as long as you want and be a catcher. You can have interim managed from, you know, brief stints in the minor leagues. But how everything works at the big league level is so different. And I still think that he's finding his way. You know, I think a lot of people get upset about his in-game decisions at times with his bullpen, everything else. Sometimes they fly in the face of how Scott Service used to do it. But I think sometimes what hurts Dan is that he doesn't offer good explanations for why he makes the decisions he makes. I know you guys have listened to the audio. Pre-game and post-game, he is not very forthright in that process. You know, it's just mostly we battle, tough one. You know, guys are grinding, but, like, you know, what is your process when you go to Legumina and this and that? A little bit more like with Scott previously, and certainly towards the end, the last few years, he got super detailed onto why, like into his process. And, you know, I mean, I think when you don't offer some insight or offer an explanation into your process for making your decisions, it leaves you open for speculation and, you know, Twitter speculation being one of the more normal things that we see in our lives every day.
You mentioned that sometimes they do things that fly in the face of what Service did, and you may have kind of answered it as part of that, but just to clarify, what are some of those things?
Oh, I just think Scott was very rigid to a lot of his platoons, and Dan still is staying to it. But, you know, like if Scott did go with left on left, he would offer a reason. Like if he stayed with a guy, or like had he gone with Cole Young against Christopher Sanchez, he would have offered reasons why. You know, I think sometimes with Dan and like playing time and I also, like, people have to realize too, like Dan doesn't control the roster on what he has, nor does he like really control the overall philosophy of how they're using those rosters. So, like, while people may be mad that they're using Dylan Moore or they still have Dylan Moore on the roster, well, that's not Dan's decision. But if he's on there, he's got to play him. You know, you have to find spots where you think he can have success. Same with Solano. You know, you're looking at not just whether or not it's a lefty on the mound, but what are their profiles? Would Cole Young have a chance against them? Would he not? You know, all this other stuff. I think Scott would explain that, and I think Scott's bullpen philosophy was a little different. You know, he would bring his closer in higher leverage situations in the 8th versus 9th. Dan's more rigid to the 9th, leaving Munoz as the traditional closer role. Some of those things. I mean, I don't think – because, like, the last year at the end when Dan replaced Scott, I thought and I felt like he managed the games pretty much the way Scott would. And I think listening to Dan talk about it last year, he didn't want to disrupt kind of what players have been used to for so much of the season. Whereas this year, you know, he's kind of done things a little bit more his way. I don't think, you know, overall, like, I don't think Jerry DiPoto and Justin Holland are up there texting him saying, hey, you got to get guys out and this and that. But there is an overall plan about how they're going to play and how they're going to use guys that they try to not deviate from unless, you know, there are mitigating circumstances to do it. So that's why you're seeing Demo or you're seeing Donovan Solano. Like, you know, I don't think Victor Robles was going to be healthy and ready to go for these games, but you would have liked to have had Robles for these 3 games against the left-handed pitching that you're going to see. And they just, you know, they don't have that. So you have to use Demo, you have to use Solano a little bit more than maybe people want to see, but that's how they've set up their roster. They believe that's what gives them the best chance for success. So that's what they're doing. And I don't think players really appreciate a manager that kind of goes, you know, that riffs, you know, or does impromptu decisions and goes on the fly. They like a little bit more structure because they prepare accordingly. So I think Dan hasn't really deviated from that a ton, but just some of the things he does, you know, late game situations, pinch hitting and stuff like that. Scott was more apt to go to the platoon advantage or something early on, you know, maybe where Dan has waited, you know, or done some different things. I mean, I thought, you know, I don't think any manager manages a game perfectly anymore. They call it running a game. I mean, you look at Francona, AJ Hinch, they're pretty good, but you know, everybody else is kind of about the same. You know, Dan's put them in some weird spots before and they won games, and he's put them in weird spots before and they've lost games. I don't think that it's completely dictatorial about how they're overall performing, when I think the overall sum on this road trip is they've been pretty poor in all facets of the game, and I don't think it's just the decision-making that's cost them.
Good stuff. And he is Seattle Times' Ryan Divish. Thanks, Ryan.
Thanks, Ryan.
Yeah, thanks, guys.
The Seahawks regular season is approaching, and we want to send one of you and 3 friends to their home opener on September 7th against the 49ers. All you need to do is open the Seattle Sports app and click the Win tab to find out how. If you don't already have the app, just text the word app, APP, to 866-979-3776, and we'll send you a link to download. Enter daily to increase your chances to win. This contest runs through Monday, August 25th. Let's get to 4 Down territory.
This is 4 Down territory, going inside the game with former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
First down, Bump, what's something that's different for Bill Belichick that you know he absolutely loves?
Bill Belichick is 73 years of age. He's been around football, the NFL, since 1975. He's been around the game, especially in football. And practices were different when I was playing football back in 2008, 9, 10, 11. It was different. You were practice, thud it up a bit more. You had your pads on or whatnot. But in college football, that's where you get dirty. You know how many live sessions we had in college football? Way too many. I don't know what our coaches were thinking. But you kind of got to prove yourself. There are no preseason games. You have non-conference games, but those non-conference games affect your college football playoffs. So I know and I read that Bill Belichick is loving the live practice. So when I say live, that means that everyone is live except the quarterback. You can tackle to the ground. It gets physical out there. We used to have about 10 or 15 plays every other practice to where things got live. Coach blew the horn. We're live, baby. And guys got crazy. And he's reading and saying, I've never been around this much live football before during practice. And he has to love that. 1975, when he was an assistant with the Baltimore Colts, I guarantee you they were going 100 a lot of times at practice. But you need this at this level. You do risk injury. But there's part of the development that needs to happen. You need to learn how to practice. Once you get to the NFL, you learn how to practice like a pro. What does that look like? Just getting to the spot, thudding up, tapping the hip, and saying you're good to go. You got to protect your investments. But I know he is loving the physicality of practices at that college level. He's going to make these guys better.
Second down. I like this one. I'm very intrigued. What's something that happened on every snap when Sam Darnold was in, and what does it do to a defense?
Almost every snap. He went on a 10-play, like 80-something yard drive. Play number 1. Jay sends to the left. He motions behind the two running backs. Play number 2, you have number 10, Cooper Kupp, motioning from right to left. Play number 3, you have JSN motioning in, then boom, snapping out. Play number 4 was a tush push. Play number 5, you got Sauber stepping off the line of scrimmage, motioning to the right side. Play number 6, you got JSN motion to the backfield and then swooping back out. You get my drift. Every play, there was some type of movement. And what that does to a defense, it makes them adjust. One, it declares what you're in. Are you in man or are you in zone? Boom. You collect that information if you are Sam Darnold. Also, it forces communication. Are we shifting over? Are the safeties rolling down? Is he motioning all the way across and coming back? If so, safety's got to be on point with their role. I loved it because it gave the defense something to talk about every single play, and that is why you see Oots wide open in the flat. That is why you see JSN wide open in the flat. I love the movement. It's going to continue. I see what you're doing, Kubiak.
3rd down. What in Kubiak's play calling shows a flow and connectivity? A word that I struggled to say just now. Sorry.
Flow and connectivity.
Connectivity.
Play number 1 was directly connected to play number 6. In play number 1, you have I formation, a fullback, and a running back. Jason is to the left of Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold motions him over, snaps the ball. He goes behind the running back and the fullback, yet Sam Darnold hands the football off. So what that shows the defense is, look, hey, we got this motion in play. We call it an orbit motion. You get behind everybody. It's in play. You got to be alert for that. You go all the way down to play number 6. Guess what? You get an I formation again. You do have Sauber to the right, and you have Cooper Kupp in the slot, but they snap the football. What do you show? You show that orbit motion once again. The defense flows to the right of JSM. They fake the handoff to Zach Charbonnet to the left side, and instead of going all the way across, he snaps his hips and goes back the other direction. The defense is already flowing that way because they've seen this before. All they're going to do is hand the football off, right? No, sir. You fake the handoff, hit JSN in the flat. He is wide open, butt naked on a Saturday, and it's an easy completion. Play number 1 was directly connected to play number 6. That's Kubiak saying, I'm going to set it up here, put that in the bank for a little bit, bam, I'm going to make this deposit, and the purchase is going to work out for me. Just an example of what to expect when it comes to this Kubiak offense. I was excited to see that. I went back and watched the first drive several times. Lots of good things happening with that offense.
4th down. All right, a lot of Seahawks reporters out at that joint practice against Green Bay saying that we're in like double digits with fights right now. Bump, what's good about team fights?
Hey, I'm telling you, man, them team fights bring you together. When I was in college, we got into a scuffle with University of Idaho off campus on some random stuff twice.
Wait, off campus?
Off campus.
Where at?
They were tripping. They was trying to jump my boy at the mall. We went up there and got him
up.
Not at the mall. And then we were at a club one time. They got him up there, messing with my boy. We got him up. But I'm telling you, the car ride home, right? The post-fight analysis. Everyone's excited. You're getting together saying, yeah, and you be like, I can trust you. You got my back. I can trust you.
We went to war.
You got my back. So I'm seeing these guys. I'm sure the coaches don't like it. You are risking injury. But I guarantee you, when they're in the dorms, the hotel, the locker room, whatever, the post-fight analysis is where everyone comes together and you realize who's down and who's got your back. So you don't want to see it, ideally, but it's a violent game with a bunch of alphas out there. It's going to happen. There is a positive that comes out of this.
I feel like it should be a running joke that when we talk about fights, we go, look, fighting isn't okay. But listen, like this, because that's how I felt when I heard. So I read you earlier the tweet from Brady. It was before the show started that a Packers cornerback had gotten into Jake Bobo's face, and then Ken Walker got in the Packers cornerback's face. And I thought, yeah, that's right, Ken.
Yeah, for real.
Let's go, Ken.
I don't condone it. It's like my kids. If my son goes out and someone's messing with him,
look, it's not okay.
My other son better be jumping in too. Y'all ride together, die together. We're gonna do this. So
that's right.
Hey, keep coming together. I like it.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
No Mariners tonight. They get a much-needed off day. Instead, you've got Extra Innings hosted by Curtis Rogers coming your way at 7 p.m. on Seattle Sports. Seahawks and Packers, a big and controversial joint practice today. Mike Macdonald next with the latest.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Josh Naylor's hit the ground running. The defense has been something I did not even think about.
If it's possible, I would be knocking on the door, calling the phone, sending the emails with his agent. And I think if they are able to go on a deep run in the postseason, that could go a long way into selling Seattle to him if it needs to be sold.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Start having fun.
Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Bob's had the same car, Betty, since high school, and that was a while ago. Bob's dealt with wipers, slow starts, and a few warning lights. And every time, Bob went to AutoZone, where a friendly AutoZoner helped with free services and the right parts to keep Bob and Betty on the road. No hassles, just help. Everything you need, nothing you don't.
Get in the zone, AutoZone.
Restrictions apply.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
If you want that summer body you've always dreamed of, then this message is for you, ladies, and you men too. Get rid of extra stubborn fat and address areas of loose skin around the waistline, chin, and under the upper arms with ProSculpt, the new one-day instant permanent fat removal and skin tightening treatment. Maybe you've tried the lasers, fat freezing methods, even those new pills, but without the desired results. ProSculpt is different. It's minimally invasive, performed while fully awake, gentle, yet powerful. Designed to target the waistline, chin, neck, arms, and thighs, ProSculpt uses FDA-cleared plasma technology to deliver immediate, permanent fat-reducing and skin-tightening results, all in just one visit. If you want that summer body this summer, then you must act now. Go to ProSculpt.com today to schedule your free consultation. Get $250 off. For instant, permanent fat reduction and skin tightening, visit ProSculpt.com.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, it's Bob Stelton here, and let me tell you about one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life. That's when I went to K2 Vision for RLE. That's Refractive Lens Exchange. Now, Dr. Kopstein started K2 Vision with Dr. King from King LASIK, the most experienced LASIK surgeon in the Northwest. King LASIK plus K2 Vision equals freedom vision for every stage of life. No glasses, no contacts, readers, or cataracts. Now, if you're somebody that struggles with distance vision and now you always need a pair of reading glasses, K2 Vision RLE could be your perfect permanent solution to spending your good active years not needing reading glasses. And here's the cherry on top: you never develop a cataract. Now, if you're somebody like me that had a pair of readers in every room of the home, in your car, you had to bring them into the restaurant with you. Otherwise, like me, you couldn't read the menu. That has all been rectified thanks to RLE. So whether it's LASIK, EVO, ICL, or RLE, trust the most experienced team of doctors to recommend what's best for you. Schedule your free Zoom consultation today at K2VisionRLE.com. That's K2VisionRLE.com.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This hour is brought to you by Mazda of Everett.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike Macdonald speaking from Green Bay. Let's take a listen.
All right, appreciate everybody making the trip, but good to see everybody here. It's great work. First, just want to thank Matt and the Packers organization for hosting us. Been great hosts so far. I mean, it was really cool to see the guys, come down the road here, getting ready for practice with all the kids on the bikes and stuff. So it's been a great experience for us, and I thought we had a great practice. Got a lot of good stuff that came out of it, I think, and there'll be a lot more on tape when we get to watch it. So look forward to that, and then getting ready for our game on Saturday. So good stuff.
You also with the defense most of the day?
I was with them the whole day.
What do you think?
We did some good stuff. Look, you're going against a team that you haven't seen and haven't really prepared for. So our guys reacted to their formations and movements well. Took us a couple plays to get our feet settled, get used to the surface. But situational football did some positive things, and there'll be more. That'll come up when we watch the tape. Red zone, Skelly, the guys were on it. That was a great period for us, but. These things you're kind of just running your stuff and seeing how you guys execute and kind of make calls in real time, which is great to see.
We got a little tense at times, but just kind of the normal stuff for this, or anything out of that?
Yeah, I mean it gets a little chippy, and I think when you get like big people, it's just because you're just kind of everyone's trying to figure everything out and things like that. So, but our guys they stayed composed after those things, kind of came back down and. Executed the second half of practice, so that was good to see. Well, I know he practiced. I didn't see that field, so I haven't really got the report on how he did or how he felt. So we'll see over the next hour or so when we watch it. But he looked good after practice, I think. So I think he made it out all right.
Seems like Charles Cross has been able to do more. Just the progress he's made. Seems like he's maybe a little.
Yeah, Charles, he wants to do everything, so we have a plan, bringing him back, and he wants to go. So it's great to see him out there and doing his thing.
For him to get some contact work today, we have the first time we've seen
Charles. Yeah.
Yeah. Is that any indication that you can find what we want?
Well, there's never any absolutes, but I think that's a fair assumption that'll be ready to go. But yeah, not being able to play in the game and then coming in and having this is why we do the practice, so you can be in this environment and have good physical competition and test it out. So I think they said it went all right.
We still see Jalen with the ones. Is he your starting center?
Jalen's with the ones right now, yeah.
Where is Olu? I look like he got a lot of work today.
Yeah, Olu practiced today for the first time full in a minute, and again, the only period I saw was 2 minutes. So we'll watch it and evaluate from there.
Mike, is this a schedule now you want to see walk around the rest of the way? 3 in a row now? You said you had a plan.
Yeah, it's probably not gonna be every day. It's the way it is.
The other day you wanted to see a more frequency so we could be ready for the season. Just a little more.
Yeah, this is great. He's again, this week has been big for him, I think. The plan, it's hard to plan these things out like several weeks in advance because you don't know how things are going to respond. But take it week by week and plan it out and then go attack it.
For something like this, how much is the spirit of guys?
Oh yeah, I mean, and look, I trust me. The other team hears them too, and it's great. I mean, it's so positive. It's all with a spirit of energy and getting our guys to play the way we want, and it's infectious. Shoot, it affects me. So, we love having them out there.
What did you think your first team offense in a 2 minute?
Well, I think it'd be good to go down and score. I don't think we went down and scored, so let's go see what happened and go improve on it. Yeah, Shaq. I thought Shaq had a good day. Showed up, made some plays, felt him down there in the red zone. I thought in 2 minutes, I thought he had PBU, if I remember right. So, yeah, he just keeps climbing. So I think we're on a good little track here.
Anything new on Tyrese Knight?
We got some great news today. So that's what I was referring to earlier in the week. So we're kind of activating the plan. And so we'll see how long it takes, but really positive day on T Knight's front this morning. I don't really. It's just it's a health matter, but it basically said, hey, we're good to go to rock and roll. So positive. Yeah, we can start working out. I mean, he hasn't moved. He hasn't really worked out in a week, so we've got to be smart with him coming back. Yeah, so part of the, we did an individual period here with AD before practice, fully padded. Looked great, felt great. And look, this is the first time the guys put on pads in almost a year. So, well, not almost a year, but since really the season. So, a great first day back. It's really positive, and we'll keep building it out from here.
Looked like something happened to Mike Morris, or I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, he got a little dinged up. We're evaluating him right now.
So, what were your orders?
I don't have an update on Torrey. It's not because it's not going well. It's just we're just got to see how the ankle, how and when, how fast it calms down.
Is there any concern for week 1?
I'm always concerned. I'm concerned about everything. Are you concerned about anything? Yes. I'm always. That's my nature. But yeah, I mean, I'd say we're optimistic, about where he's at, and he's got 2 weeks. So.
So, Mike, were there fights that you did see? Are you concerned about those, or is that just part of what we have these activities?
I think it's somewhere in the middle. It's hard to tell what happened, who said what. I mean, look, you want your guys to defend their guys. There's a line, whether we go past the line. I don't think we did, which is good. Our guys stay composed, but some of these things do tend to happen, and when however it gets started, who knows how it worked. Hopefully it's not our guys, but people are going to react to a certain extent, and but I think our guys handled it pretty well.
What do you want to see for Saturday with your team? And I imagine a lot of the veterans we're not going to see Saturday.
Yeah, Jalen's going to start the game at quarterback. He's going to play the whole game. It's going to be awesome. Our starters probably won't be out there. Matter of fact, they won't be. And so the guys that after those guys will go rock and roll, and let's go have a great football game. Let's go play our style of ball.
If Jalen gets the whole game, what do you want to see from him?
Well, he is getting the whole game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I think it's just a great opportunity for him to get great experience. All rookies, they need reps, they need experience, and Jalen's right there. I know he's really excited for the opportunity, and he's going to do a great job. So go out and operate the offense and go play ball the way you know how, and let's go.
I'm sorry, I don't think we asked you much about the tush push in the game.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think of how that was executed?
We got a first down. It looked pretty good.
Does that seem like something that could be part of what he does this season?
It could be, yeah. Yeah, it could be. I mean, we've already done it, so it's on tape. So, yeah, I think, it's important to be able to get convert in those short yard situations. So it's a good play right now.
It seems like part of why it works so well with the Eagles is that Jalen Hurts is so strong. He's got such a strong lower body.
Yeah, that's part of the reason we're doing it with him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Jalen's. You've seen him. He's a strong person.
Center battle and right guard is what you need to see these guys play on Saturday.
We'll probably make an announcement probably sometime next week.
Your defense was going against the offense today that obviously did not have this other receiver. We got a couple of good
Yeah.
What kind of challenges does it present your offense?
Yeah, those guys are great players. Versatile. Tight ends sometimes are like knights in chess, where they kind of do like funky things that keep you off balance, but they can build different sets out of it, which is cool. I mean, we do the same thing with our guys, but they made some plays out there today, so we got a lot of respect for those guys. Well, it's always going to be how we operate. Do we play physical? Do we hit our targets? Do we finish plays the right way? Making the correct decisions in real time? Are we being decisive? It's always going to be the same criteria. So we'll go from there. But yeah, it's felt like there's some great stuff that happened, especially in the run game.
One practice versus two. What kind of challenge is better for you? The challenge you like better?
I'm starting to prefer the one practice. It's just I think you get just more execution, more time on task, a little bit more potent of a practice. Kind of get in, get out, so you're not there the whole week. Lends the opportunity to maybe do it against multiple teams, which is something that we'll probably look into the future. But these things, I could say that and we decide to go a different direction next year. But right now, that's my preference. And look, and getting game opportunities was great too. Our guys being able to go out there in front of the 12s, feeling the environment. Looking back at it, probably was the best thing for our team. So those guys got experience, in our home stadium too. So I think it's all positive, but it depends on how well you work together with the other team. And like I said, Matt and the Packers were great partners today.
Stevenson looked like he got a lot of work out there today with the returns.
Yeah, he looked good. He's still working his way back from the hamstring. So, yeah.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
All right, that was the latest from Mike Macdonald. Coming up next, get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776.
It's the final test. Tonight, Charbonnet is going to rip off a big run before the real deal.
You kind of see the light at the end of the tunnel.
Jobs are on the line.
Who's in on the initial 53, who's on the initial practice squad.
It's off to historic Lambeau Field in Green Bay for the preseason finale. Seahawks, Packers, Saturday. Pre-game at 11 a.m. with Steve Rabel on the call. Touchdown, Seahawks! Kickoff at 1 p.m.
on the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports, and the Seattle Sports app.
Everyone wants to get the best deal they can when they buy a car. Well, what about when you want to sell your car? Of course, you want to get the most money possible, but how do you get the most you can without selling it yourself? Well, that's where my friends at Wayscar Ford in Auburn step in. Not only will they buy your car today, but that's just the beginning. Once they resell your old car, they send you another check for 50% of the profit of the sale of your old car. Seriously, they've already given back over $800,000 to their customers. It's such a great offer, and I know exactly what you're thinking. How are they able to do it? It's not a consignment because you get paid for your car right away. Wayscar Ford pays you right up front. They buy your car for fair market value. No more insurance, no more maintenance, no more storage. Then they pay you half the profit when they resell your car. Get the most money possible for your old car at Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn and let them do the work. WayscarFord.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owed the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cards for Kids. 1-877 Cards for Kids. Donate your card today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation's super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now, 1-877-CARS-FOR-KIDS. That's Cars with a K to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's carsforkids.org.
Seattle Sports has your chance to win 4 tickets to the Seahawks season opener on Sunday, September 7th. Open the Seattle Sports app, click the Win tab in the bottom right corner, and enter to win. You can enter once per day, so the more times you enter through the Seattle Sports app, the better your odds of winning 4 tickets to the Seahawks season opener. Do it every day August 19th through August 25th. Details and rules at seattlesports.com/win. Only from the home of the Seahawks. Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Free consultations, no-fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm? Totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. I got a fantasy football question to start. We are required to keep one quarterback in our fantasy redraft, says our first listener. What I need to know, do I keep Patrick Mahomes or Michael Penix Jr., whose ceiling could be considerably high?
Yeah, it could be high, but I'm going Pat Mahomes. Even though the last couple of years he hasn't been great fantasy football-wise, you just know they're going to put the ball in his hands and say, go get it. Michael Penix, I think they'll bring him along slowly, but you have a top 3 running back in Bijan Robinson over there as well. I'm going Patty.
Yeah, I'm keeping Mahomes, and I didn't second guess it at all. I think it's going to be a more run-heavy offense in Atlanta, and I think Mahomes is Mahomes, man. Like, I know, as you mentioned, he hasn't had, like, the best. He's been on my fantasy team, and not last year, but the year prior. So I know from experience that sometimes, even though he's the best quarterback, he's not the best fantasy quarterback. But, yeah, I didn't even second guess that one. What I need to know. Why do NFL teams even have joint practices? What's the benefit?
You can get your some quality reps in a controlled environment, so you could practice situations too. You can go 5 plays, 3rd and short. You go 10 plays in the red zone. Your quarterbacks aren't going to be live, but everybody else is essentially live. You get to play against different competition. I think in the perfect world, I think most head coaches would prefer the joint practices over preseason, but the preseason ain't going nowhere.
4th and 5, game on the line. Who's getting the rock?
For the Hawks?
What do for the Hawks and then for the league?
4th and 5, game on the line. Clear passing. We're going to have a run call, and we're going to have an alert. We check to a pass. So if they give me a light box, and I'm in 10 personnel, they give me a light box, we're going to run that thing. So if they give me a heavy box and personnel, then we're going to throw it. So it all depends on what the defense is doing. I can't just say I'm going to get this guy the ball.
Unfortunately, you have to, because those are the rules of what I need to know.
Cooper Kupp.
Okay. Oh, interesting. I didn't think you'd say that.
Yeah.
I thought you'd go with like, oh, if I'm getting a light box and like hand it off to Ken, or maybe Charbonnet in that instance.
I tried to go that way, but you told me that I had to pick one.
Well, I said you have to pick a guy. You have to pick a guy.
Well, this is how offenses work. You don't just give one play anymore. You got
I think
two.
it's so typical of a wide receiver, 4th and 5 game on the line, to go give it to a wide receiver.
Who's the most
Wow.
reliable person on offense right now? We haven't seen him dress up for the Seahawks yet. It's Cooper Kupp.
Yeah. Let's see what I need to know. Should I be trying to draft Zach Charbonnet late in my fantasy draft, assuming he's about to take over in this backfield? I'm not trusting K9 is going to be the lead back this year.
Yeah, draft him late. Get your number one running back, someone that you know is going to give 300 touches, but then you can draft him late.
Also, I think that Ken will have the first shot.
Yeah,
for sure. So I don't know about like, I'm not trusting. It's if Ken loses the job or if Zach outperforms him, then they're going to go with Zach. Both guys are going to get a ton of work. Someone said Robbie Oots with the screen pass.
Screen? I see him leaking out to the flat. Like the pass reception he had this past game. Everything flowed right. He went left. Boom. Butt naked.
What I need to know. This is funny. I was at the Mariners game where they retired Ichiro's number recently. One of my favorite things was in the 9th after Munoz came up and a fan screamed, "Do it for Matilda!" who's Munoz's cat. What's your favorite thing you've heard a fan scream during a game? It's a good one.
I don't know. I don't stand in one spot too long at games. I don't know.
Anyone ever scream anything funny at you? Like where you kind of were like, they got me.
Nah, it was all like they were just talking crap. It was nothing real clever.
The funniest thing was when Rowland-Smith joined us and talked about Curtis. Do you remember who the guy was in the bullpen? Coming out of the bullpen?
Oh.
And he said the guy had really small feet, and one of the people up in the stands made fun of him and said he was wearing Weebox.
Weebox.
And that Ryan said the guys in the bullpen started laughing too. That was a good story.
One time I was in the right field bleachers at T-Mobile Park. I was probably like 12 years old or something like that. And there was a guy playing for the Kansas City Royals at the time. His name was Mark Teehan. And this guy in the stands was just belligerently drunk. And he yells out to Mark Teehan, "Hey, Teehan, your mom called. She said you're late." And that was it. I was waiting for the punchline. My brother-in-law was waiting for the punchline. My dad was waiting for the punchline. We're like, that's it? That's the joke? And
A comedian's comedian, that guy is.
it's like, when's the joke coming?
I would have been rolling.
I think I would have too.
Your mom called. She said you're late.
You're late. Hurry up.
I got to yell at a game. What I need to know. Saw an old video of Jim Zorn teaching Matt Hasselbeck how to slide using an old school slip and slide. What I need to know. What's an unconventional teaching method that actually worked? For me, it was using a John Deere tractor to learn how to parallel park.
Really? That's pretty good. I think that's good.
Yeah.
How does that help?
Probably trying to park a tractor. Like, it's so much work that a car
Dodge
is
a wrench, you can dodge
easier.
a ball.
Yeah. You know, power steering on that thing. Maybe teaching someone how to putt. Because when you putt, you want to go like all shoulders. So I have someone to stand out there with their arms straight and just act like I said, like you're smacking somebody in the back with your arms.
Yeah.
No. Tilt forward and do the same thing.
I can't think of anything. I didn't when I was an athlete. There's nothing like ridiculous or stupid. I did like when we could use flippers because then you're so fast. But that's not.
What's the advantage using
method.
those in training?
I don't even know. I just remember for certain drills we had flippers.
Is it like using a batting donut? Where it's like, man,
where
I'm
you're
gonna,
like, I'm
gonna swim
the
so fast now.
fastest person alive. But I can't think of anything we did that was ever super unconventional or funny.
I remember when they introduced the tackling donuts in the football. That was kind of cool. You kind of roll them. The big donuts, you roll them, and then
Right,
players run, tackle them.
Let's see. What I need to know. Do you think the Mariners can rip off another 8-10 straight wins like they had before the East Coast road trip?
Yep.
You do, really?
Yeah.
I mean, not the easiest schedule. It's comparatively easy compared to. It's by no means a tough schedule, but
a spot in there.
I don't know that I see a stretch of like you taking on the Rockies and the White Sox. So I'll tell you, they got the A's, Padres here at home, on the road against the Guardians.
I see it.
Rays, Braves.
A's, Kansas City, Houston. Oh, that's not at home.
That's the stretch.
It's not at home though.
Well, it would be, but it doesn't have to be a home. It could be a stretch of 8 or 10.
Angels, Kansas City, Houston. I can see that.
I love you incorporating Houston into this. I think sweep the Dodgers final series.
I wouldn't mind it because we would have been clinched by then. We can take some L's. It's fine.
866-979-3776. Let's see. I'm trying to find some sports ones here. Well, I have this one. When you were in middle school and high school, were you ever sent to the principal's office for what?
Yeah, I got in a fight. This kid named William.
We hate you, William.
William Sago.
I'll fight him now.
We're too old for that now. No fighting.
No.
Let's talk about it.
You're right. We don't need to do that anymore, but I'm glad you
ain't
learned a
fighting
lesson.
nobody anyway.
Never in my life, and I never will. Never in my life. Wyman and Bob coming up next.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
Josh Naylor's hit the ground running. The defense has been something I did not even think about. If it's possible, I would be knocking on the door, calling the phone, sending the emails with his agent. And I think if they are able to go on a deep run in the postseason, that could go a long way into selling Seattle to him if it needs to be sold.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
Change is always happening. It's part of life. And when it comes to music, change is all around us. Songs are rewritten. Classics are remixed. Bands and artists come and go. Even our taste in music changes. Here at Xfinity, we know there's still good in keeping some things the same. That's why we want to do our part with a 5-year price guarantee on our internet. It means no matter what changes, you get 5 years of the most reliable Wi-Fi with our best equipment included for a price that stays exactly the same. Surprised? Life is full of them. One internet price, 5 years, guaranteed. Learn more at xfinity.com/deals. Restrictions apply. New residential customers only. Taxes and fees extra and subject to change. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024.
This summer, make sure your roof is ready for the season ahead with a company you can trust, like 3 Tree Roofing. We're not just your roofers, we're your neighbors, and we're here to help you protect your home this season. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free on-site estimate and get your roof replaced before the summer rush and potential material price increases. Our certified technicians make your roof replacement easy and worry-free, so you can focus on the important things this summer. Visit 3treeroofing.com to schedule your free, no-pressure estimate. 3 Tree Roofing, your Puget Sound roofing experts.
Step into automotive history at LeMay, America's Car Museum. Explore 300 incredible cars and 100 years of heritage. Enjoy thrilling racing simulators and the cafe. It's excitement for all, and out-of-town visitors will love it. Visit americascarmuseum.org. What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. So, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty.